I think we're
too
perfect.
late now. We're fine. I think we're good.
Right. Now we lag. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 176 of My Cup of Tea. Yes,
Whew.
heard that right. We keep going. And we decided to actually go live because we started talking about movie news off air and we're like, hold on. Why didn't we do this?
Yeah, let's just pull off the curtain and just go live. But yeah, it's been a fun weekend of movies. Like, I mean, I guess not for me. I didn't go out to the movie theater this weekend. I saw Hedda on Amazon Prime. Hedda is I think, I watched the movie and I was like, that was really good. It's directed by Nia DaCosta. It stars Tessa Thompson. It's like this, not old timey, I guess like 19th century, 20th century kind of like banquet. And then she like creates a lot of chaos. It's very, I was gonna say lesbian coded, but it's just like straight up a lesbian like drama ish in there. It's really interesting. But I looked it up, and then on Letterboxd there were like other adaptations. I think it's based off of a book, but I'm not sure. Either way, I'd recommend that for the weekend. Amazon Prime, Hedda. I couldn't even find it like on the top 10 Amazon Prime movies, so hopefully it doesn't get buried. But it seems like it already is. So yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, we were talking about Predator, Badlands, and Now You See Me. So those are exciting movies coming up.
Yeah, man. Very excited. And Running Man.
And Running Man. Yeah.
All right.
I think my dad is most excited for Running Man. I'm not sure he's a big Predator fan, but I'm forcing him to go see Predator Badlands this weekend because Predator franchise has been on the come up. It's been excellent. So Dan Trachtenberg has revived the franchise like no. I haven't. When was the last time we've seen like a huge like franchise revival to this degree where it's like every hit is like a banger, like Prey, Killer of Killers. What?
I said Terminator. It's not true. The Beholder on those ones. I like Dark Fate.
Dark Fate is good. It's really good.
People are mad that it's because of the ending of T2, but like there's 5 timelines. Stop.
Exactly. Like, yeah, we need something new. We need something fresh.
Yeah, but I was asking a similar question on Twitter because James Mangold was being interviewed and Star Wars was brought up, and he was telling like how everybody who lived through the 70s first experienced seeing Star Wars, how big it was when they went to the theater. And I was posing the question, what was the last movie of our modern era that like was so huge that everybody collectively saw and was like, I gotta go again?
Great point. Great question. Because I think, yeah, like you interview any director and they were mostly inspired by Star Wars. Even like Spielberg, who was making movies around that time, was like inspired by like the greatness of Star Wars. I think that I don't know what that movie is for our generation. That's not like, cause it's not a comic book movie, right? Like it's not like, when I first saw the Avengers, I was inspired to not so much.
You may think like to say like the first Avatar and like spectacle wise, sure, but like it didn't have the staying power with the characters really until we deeply fleshed them out with Way of Water and moving forward.
Exactly. I don't know if you interview like a James Mangold or Christopher McQuarrie, and then they're gonna be like, Avatar really changed the game. It changed the game for like the fidelity of like pictures, right? Of films. But I don't know about like true inspiration. Like Star Wars was a true inspiration.
I mean, just like popularity wise, it probably is Endgame.
But like most like 90% of directors do not like Endgame. I could like go to the directors branch of the guild, the DPA, and say like, hey, what do you guys think about Endgame? They'd be like, not my cup of tea. I doubt it.
I don't think the question is like what, like the inspired like a director. I think it's just more so.
Oh, us?
Like everybody who like went to see a specific movie was like, wow, I gotta go again. I gotta experience that again on the big screen.
I still don't
Because I
know if
would
it's
say
Endgame.
then, with how large, not just financially, but like I truly feel like even like there were like so many people who were like were not caught up on the years whatsoever. It was like, but I got to see Endgame. Everybody's seeing it.
Yeah. It was a cultural touchstone. Like everybody in our generation has seen Infinity War / Endgame. That is true. And to be honest, no, not, yeah, I was gonna say there's a big divide between the post Endgame cinema and then pre, but that's mostly COVID adjacent, not just Endgame adjacent. It just happened to line up that way. Whereas like post Endgame, there was like a fall, not the fall of Marvel, but there was a decline in quality in terms of your perspective. And at the same time, movies are also like recovering as well. So it was very interesting. But I don't know. I guess I can acquiesce and say Endgame if you say overall cultural touchstone to like multiple generations.
It's tricky, right? Because like when you look at Star Wars, it's like it was at a time where like you were reinventing everything like as you're developing the craft of filmmaking itself.
Exactly.
And it was a starter of a series. It was the first installment of anything in that franchise. So it has like all those cornerstones, whereas like today we've pushed the envelope so much on what we are able to do with visual effects and like how surprising it can be, and then to also try to plug that in with the idea of it being a first of a series is very, very rare. Like even like like movies franchises that blow up, like I think the biggest blow up we've seen in the modern from like this little thing of like, oh, this might be cool, to a full-blown franchise, I would say is John Wick, because the first one is so like
True.
minimal, and now it's as big as it is. But you weren't hearing like box office record breakings like everyone's going back for John Wick 1. It's more so like, hey, that was fun when I went to see in theaters, and then you watch on home, it's like, wow, this is really cool, I want to go see more of this world.
Yeah, John Wick franchise was very interesting to see grow. Because John Wick 1, like you said, was kind of like a big, fun, like, oh, I saw this trailer, and then that same weekend, I'll go see a Keanu Reeves action movie. And then John Wick 2 comes out. It wasn't even, John Wick 2 wasn't a big box office hit either. I think that made
that
like
was a crazy
20
for me.
Yeah.
That the crazy thing is like, because happenstance, my theater decided to play the first one in IMAX, and I got to see it that way, and I was like, oh, great. And then the second one came out, and it was only in standard showings. And I was like, that's kind of lame, especially for a big
John Wick
return.
1 was in IMAX?
It played in mine. Yeah.
Wow. What the hell?
But then like you go around 3, and it's like everybody's like in on John Wick by 3, and I'm watching in the Dolby, and I think it's going to be the last one of this series, and surprise.
And then 4 comes out, and it's even massive success. But even John Wick 4, I think, well, I forget the box office, but I think that was like 60 to 70. So it's not like super big, but like for a rated R action movie, that's original, pretty well.
John Wick 4.
Yeah, look up that opening weekend there, because I don't think it cracked like 70 million. I could be wrong though.
With a reported budget of 100 million, it ended up grossing 447 million.
Yeah.
Let me see the opening weekend.
Drum roll, please. I'm gonna say 67. 67.
73.5 million domestically.
73.
137 worldwide.
Wow. So it did crack 70 million. I was off by 3 million there. But yeah, that is a very fascinating franchise. And you can tell that's what a lot of studios want right now. They want their, I mean, I guess it's hard to tell. Like either studios want to rely on an already like given IP, or they want an original story to possibly grow out into like a big franchise. But you never know if that might work.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting stuff ahead. I'm excited for this month though in movies in general. Very exciting stuff. So if people haven't seen like, well, most people haven't unless you went to a film festival, but Hamnet and Sentimental Value are big like award players that are going to be amazing movies. Also, It Was Just an Accident is an international movie that's starting to roll out. It was by Jafar Panahi. So I recommend that one too. That's an excellent one of my favorites of the year. So everybody should go watch these indie movies. I know we just talked about, Now You See Me and all that shit. Speaking of, we're doing the Now You See Me commentary starting this week. I'm excited to watch those because it's been a minute. What?
Do you want to watch the extended edition?
There's no way there's an extended edition.
There is.
For Now You See Me?
I was surprised too. I remember I went to go buy it and I was like, extended. All right.
What the hell? Where's that available?
I think everywhere. I own it on my Vudu, but wish Fandango at home now. But no, we can just stick to the regulars. That's all fine. It's probably more available on streaming anyway.
Yeah,
but it's fun to do these cold open questions. We should do these more often.
Yeah. So let's dive into. Oh yeah, what?
Oh, I was asked did you do or watch anything for Halloween?
I don't fuck with Halloween that much. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite holiday. It's just an excuse to watch horror stuff again. So I didn't really.
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I used the excuse. I was like, Terrifier is kind of like my stuff. I saw people on Twitter were watching Halloween Town. I'm like, I love those movies, but I didn't watch them this year. I usually watch one of them at least, or Trick or Treat. I usually watch Trick or Treat every year, but I missed Trick or Treat this year. So I don't know. I think I just chilled at home on Friday. I'm trying to see. Did I go to the movies on Friday? No. I went straight home, had a long nap, and didn't do anything. I turned the light off on our house because this is our new house. So I didn't know people were like, do people trick or treat down this side of the street or this part of the neighborhood? It's pretty quiet in this side of the neighborhood. So I didn't really know. But I turned the light off just in case. I just took a long nap and just watched TV. I caught up on, I binge watched the entire Only Murders in the Building season 5 this weekend. I watched all 10 episodes this weekend. I told myself I was going to take I watched 2 and then 2, but then I just binged the whole shit Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that was my big watch thing for the weekend.
Right on. I didn't get to go to the theater at all either, but this past weekend they did the second theater reissue of K-pop Demon Hunters, which was nice to see. And Sinners was back on the IMAX screens, which is also really cool.
Yeah, I wish Sinners had a longer rollout, but I think this makes sense for Warner Brothers. Aired on the Halloween weekend. I think it's also playing into a little bit of this week as well. But air it now, and then once the Oscar nominations hit, it'll be back in theaters in 2 months' time, anyways, in January, anyways.
It's definitely going to be on the Best Picture showcase at AMC when they do their February marathon.
Exactly. So it's going to be there January, February. So it's going to be back in theaters. Yeah, still playing. Yeah. So go ahead and go watch Sinners in IMAX if you have not done that yet.
I think you'll have it available until Wednesday for the early previews of Predator Badlands.
Exactly. So yeah, that's exciting. And yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters. It was funny because this time around, AMC theaters took part in the K-pop Demon Hunters theatrical rollout. And interestingly enough, K-pop Demon Hunters didn't do as well as it did the first theatrical rollout. I guess it just wasn't as special, and it was Halloween weekend, so people weren't really going to the theaters.
Sure.
So I mean, yeah, because there wasn't really a big Halloween movie. If they aired I don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's over this weekend, that would have been huge. But I guess they saving that shit for December for some reason.
That was huge, even despite it being day and date on Peacock. People are still turning out for the theaters for that one.
Exactly, that was huge, and I think we watched it day and date. Let me tell you, if Netflix ends up buying WB, I'd be worried about future theatrical releases, and that could be. Do you want to talk about this now, or shit? That could be a whole other
I'll talk about it right now. That's always been a fear in the idea of someone like Netflix that is so streamed mindset, but I feel I keep seeing headline after headline of different properties of films that they are talking about theatrical releases for, which gives me more optimism that they're seeing. Oh wait, there's money in this. Like, yes, there is.
I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it. I
I
think
don't want them to monopolize at all, but
yeah. I think they see the benefits of theatrical a little bit, but like, I'll wait for them to put the money where their mouth is. I'm trying to think, because I remember seeing that headline as well, Nathan, about Netflix like expanding more in terms of their theatrical endeavors. K-pop. Oh yeah, because they said like weeks ago, they said they were going to roll out K-pop Demon Hunters over Halloween, which we saw didn't do that well. So I don't know what their thinking is now. They might want to pull back on it. But yeah, and then Frankenstein isn't in a ton of theaters. It's in a lot of theaters. Like for example, if I wanted to go see Frankenstein, I could have saw it like 2 weeks ago in Cincinnati. Granted, I live in Cincinnati, and there's a ton of theaters in Cincinnati, so I don't know.
My nearest Frankenstein showing right now, 38 miles away.
38 miles?
Yeah, and I'm so sad about that. Because I would go. I would. It looks so beautiful. I want to see it on the big screen, which gives me such little hope for Wake Up Dead Man. I got lucky that I was in Jersey at the time, so I was able to see Glass Onion, and it's like 3 days it was playing in theaters, but yeah, probably not this one.
That's so weird. I mean, I guess I don't live in a bubble. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. But like, there's a lot of theaters that I have like opportunities to, like I have like 2 AMCs, 1 Regal, 1 Cinemark, 2 or 3 indie theaters. So if something's not playing at one theater, I'll just travel another 20 minutes to go to another theater. 38 miles is wild. That's like what, a 45-minute drive? Like, that's crazy.
It's pretty beefy, and that's the crazy thing is like I have AMC, Cinemarks, and Regals up the wazoo, and some local theaters here. None of them got Frankenstein.
None of them got Frankenstein. That's crazy to me. I don't know why. Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe it has to be like a personal, like, reached out request thing. But then I'm also like, why wouldn't the biggest theater chains do that?
I figured they would. Yeah. Maybe you're not looking hard enough.
I also think like if you are Netflix, like let me drop these in the most popular theater chains, right?
No, they don't care. They don't care. I know. Netflix putting this in theaters gained them, I don't even know what to call it. It doesn't give them. It gives them money, sure, but they also, of course, have to do the same thing that other studios do: split the pot with the theater distributors, right? With AMC, with Regal, with Cinemark.
That's a whole other worry I have. Like, if Netflix ever does get on the game of like, oh yeah, no, we're like, they do a big announcement like we're going theatrical now, I can see it being like a 2-week window, and then they're like, all right, come watch it on us.
Yeah, they're always going to prioritize Netflix being the at-home service. The head of Netflix, is it still Ted? I forget his last name.
Ted Sarandos. Yeah, from the studio.
From the studio, right? It's like, how do you get people to always praise you? It's like, it's in the contract. They gotta congratulate me in their.
You think that's real? That was Ted. That was for real, wasn't it?
I don't think it was. I mean, part of me thinks it wasn't for real, but every person does it. So
yeah. I'm watching and I'm like, should we be giving him a starring role? I don't know.
This is very funny.
But it's also funny when you look at like on the other spectrum, Apple, when they make films, like they do the traditional theatrical run that everybody else is doing, and it's like we had talked about this before. It's like Apple is so big that it doesn't matter if they don't return on investment. They've made a quality film that is the filmmaker's vision, and now it's a part of their catalog. So if you subscribe to Apple, hey, look what awesome thing we have. Stick around.
Exactly. Apple is not Netflix. Apple isn't built as a streaming service first. Apple TV is an adjacent part of the already thriving, Apple business. So that they don't really have to prioritize their service. They want people to go to their service, which is why, like, depending on some theatrical windows, they're like, okay, now go watch on Apple TV. But F1 had one of the longest theatrical windows of the entire year, longer than Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, longer than Superman, longer than Thunderbolts. Like F1 had a huge, long theatrical run. It came out in what, June, July? One of that? I think it was June.
Yeah, it took IMAX away from Jurassic, like a first.
Exactly. So, and they know how to get like star. I mean, that's Apple TV in a nutshell. Let's get this star actor and put them in a big TV show or a big movie.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, you get F1. Rebecca Ferguson, you get 4 seasons of Silo. John Hamm, you get 2 seasons of a random TV show. Like they put like big stars in these big like IPs or big movies or whatever. And that's why I like Apple, or big directors too, like with John Watts or Martin Scorsese. So I appreciate what Apple is doing. Yeah.
I still have not seen F1.
You haven't? Wow.
No, because I was going to. I was in the theater, Evan. I was in the theater in IMAX ready, and then my theater power cut out with its like audio glitch, and then the whole system went down.
Why didn't you go the next weekend?
Because I'm a broke bitch, Evan. I schedule triple features because it's cost effective for my Ubers.
That's crazy. Yeah, F1 is a great movie. Now, I don't know about top 10 of the year, but I'd always recommend F1. But
getting the IMAX experience would have been great.
Yeah, the IMAX experience was incredible. The sound quality, the screen quality was amazing. But getting to the heart of this, Netflix does want to put in bids for Warner Brothers. Initially, Warner Brothers took down offers from, I think it was Paramount, where Paramount offered them bids once and then twice. WB turned it down. Next up was Netflix. Or I guess next up is Netflix. Netflix is still in the process. It's just the trades are, I think, reporting it. I'm not the most up to date about it, but just the concept of Netflix buying Warner Brothers is absolutely awful. It's awful. And now this is, we talked about like, Netflix is slowly expanding movies. No, the heads of Netflix, they know their bread and butter will always be at home streaming. And what makes this even worse is that, people are saying, and I kind of believe them, this was David Zaslav's whole big, plan. He didn't come on board WB a year or two ago to rejuvenize one of the biggest movie studios of all time, ever. He wanted to beef up, try and get WB back into like a decent size out of its debt a little bit, whether that's cutting animation projects, cutting movies before they're even finished filming. He wanted to get that out of their hole while still like elevating their stature, which is why they're getting like, they had Dune, whatever, with Denis Villeneuve and other big IP products, Coogler a couple of years ago when they got him for Sinners, when that first got selected, because there was a big bidding war for Sinners and WB won that. And, he did all that just to elevate their product of WB, just to probably sell it now, just so they can get a bigger money bid from a Netflix, from a Paramount, from a Universal. It's just extremely horrible. And once again, Netflix buying it is just, it won't be the end all be all for theatrical, but it will be a big damage to theatrical viewership. Just look what happened to Fox. Fox was making 7 to 12 movies per year. And now they're making 2 to 3 under Disney. Like you get your Predator, Avatar, and some other stuff. But Disney just like, okay, Fox, what big IP do you have? Predator, Avatar, Apes. Every other year you get one of those.
Maybe it's Searchlight.
Maybe, yeah. Searchlight has some great stuff. and that like leads to some award success. But yeah, it just is not at the quality or quantity, mostly quantity of what we gotten beforehand. And WB had its best year, I don't want to say ever, but in a very long time this year, with
Yeah.
Sinners, one battle after another. One of those movies is winning Best Picture already, like guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's
Conjuring
just
doing
Conjuring was a huge success. You're right, big one. So Superman, right? Superman, Conjuring, one battle
Yeah.
after another, Sinners.
Who did
Mickey
Weapons?
17 was a flop, but Weapons, you're right. Yeah, Weapons was big.
So
So
WB?
WB, yeah, WB is just on a huge roll right now. It just sucks that they're having such a great year, and then it's followed up by, yeah, but we're selling the studio. The studio is going to be like Warner Brothers Discovery. It's going to be like bits and pieces, eaten
I
up.
I was looking I have like this option where like I can like I mean anybody can do it is like you can like invest in stocks. And then like you can easily like look up any like studios and like things like that, like Apple and Netflix and whatnot. And I saw WB was like the lowest affordable one. And then I was like, that makes sense. And then now they're like on the uptick, and I'm like, fuck, I should have bought because everybody's talking about buying WB. So the price is sweetening.
Yeah, it's awful, and that's again Netflix is the worst case scenario because we won't get big theatrical runs of Sinners, one battle after another, Weapon. That just won't happen.
God, I
They'll
do
come
not
out in
want to
theaters
live in
maybe
the
for like a
world.
week or two. What?
I do not want to live in the world where Sinners was a direct streaming thing.
It's awful. It's awful, and certain directors aren't going to want to come to WB if it goes into like a big partnership with Netflix. It just isn't going to happen because people will love that communal experience. So that's definitely a bad time.
Do you think we're on an uptick of people wanting to come back to the theaters versus streaming, or do you think it's still a muddied inconsistency?
I don't think it's muddied anymore. I think we've seen the uptick. I think 2023 was kind of like the big uptick. And I think we're back at a healthy spot now. I think people don't want to. People are still prioritizing streaming, of course. That's never going to change. But that's mostly in terms of TV viewership. That's a TV issue more than a theatrical, I think, thing. I think people are showing up for big things. And again, Sinners was completely original, and that was huge. Like every year now, you can point to big theatrical successes that just wouldn't have been possible with streaming, and even in the highest of streaming, like we have in modern era right now, we are still getting 2025. Sinners was a huge box office success. F1, huge box office success. Both of them original movies. And then in 2024, what was the big one from last year? I'm blanking on box office.
Deadpool Wolverine made $1 billion.
Deadpool Wolverine, that was mostly Marvel. That's kind of like
that's true. Was that
unbeatable.
Last year?
Yeah, that was last year.
I'll
go my Letterboxd.
Letterboxd. Yeah.
But 2020 is Letterboxd down? What's going on?
Letterboxd updated its layout, and I don't like it. Did you get an update?
It took some getting used to. That's for sure. Is Letterboxd down, guys? What's going on here?
Mine just queued up. Let's see if I can.
Yours queued up? Okay. Just
for 2024. I saw more movies last year.
Of course you did.
Hey,
Dune was a big hit.
Sure.
Not a lot of.
Wicked was big.
Wicked was a big theatrical event. That's going to be the same thing for this year. Was Moana 2 last year?
I believe so.
Moana 2 Inside Out 2. Challengers wasn't a big box office hit, but it was a good film Twitter hit. But yeah, most of these are like IP.
Sure.
But 2023, you had Barbie and Oppenheimer, which were big, semi-original kind of things. Barbie's an IP, but you know.
How was did Godzilla and Kong did pretty good, right?
Godzilla and Kong was great again. Yeah.
Did yeah, we're trying to find not IP.
Yeah, 2024 was a lot of IP.
But that's a good handful that we did a cherry pick there.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, I think we're in a fine landscape. I don't think theaters have to worry about streaming in the sense of like taking away their viewership for original takes. People are coming for great movies. It again goes back to quality, but it does. We are still getting hit with like the lowest October, at least the lowest Halloween we've had in a long time. And there's good movies in theaters right now. Like Begonia didn't have a huge opening, but that's never going to be everybody's cup of tea there. So there are good movies. Frankenstein should have been in theaters, but that's Netflix thing. So I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think there's anything that was like a huge, great movie that just bombed recently.
I haven't checked the performance. Do you know how Shelby Oaks is doing right now?
I think it has 5 million as of this past weekend. I think it made like 2 or 3 million opening weekend, and then 1 million or so this weekend.
Was it a 2 million budget?
I think 2 million was the budget. The producer said they were very happy with its performance, though. So I believe him. Good. He made the movie with Chris.
I think I'm definitely like gonna support and buy it for home release too.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good movie. I liked it. So yeah. But speaking of Shelby Oaks, speaking of horror, topic of the day today. Welcome to Derry. Which, by the way, I'm always using the hashtag welcome to Derry. That's what the show is called. Welcome to Derry. I hate welcome to Derry. It bugs the fuck out of me. I get it. It's just like it's part of the IP, but you can just call it welcome to Derry. People know what you're talking about. You don't have to call it it.
Especially by the second episode's title card, it is just welcome to Derry.
Right. So what do we do? But it's just to get people to know, like, oh, this is related to the It movies, which were hugely successful. But unnecessary, in my opinion. But yeah, very fascinating show. I love a good horror-focused TV show. One of the ones I don't watch like From. A lot of my friends like that show called From. I don't know where that's streaming at. I think that's Netflix, Amazon, one of them. But I remember there was a great horror show on HBO, ironically, with I know he's canceled now, Jonathan Majors. But like that was a good TV show he had. Lovecraft Country, that's what it was. That was a great show that got canceled. I was surprised. That was wild.
I only saw the first episode, but I was very taken aback of how well it was.
That was very well made. You can tell it was expensive, but it was a very out there, unique.
JJ produced that?
Who?
Did JJ produce that?
I think so. I think he was a producer. I don't know how much input he had though, but yeah.
But yeah, we're here with a brand new series. I have reacquainted myself in the last few days with the duology of Andy Muschietti's adaptation of It from Stephen King, and headed into this one. It was an interesting revisit because you always make a fun jab about it chapter 2, and I'm like, no, it's good. And I watched and I was like, yeah.
It's good? What are you
It's far be it from me to be like, it's not a good horror movie, but it's a good movie.
Oh no, it's a good Star Wars. It's a good movie, but not a good Star Wars movie.
Right? No, I don't mean it like that. I think it's a very like well done, like fantastical, like a horror skinned like fable fairy tale adventure type vibe in its atmosphere, but I feel like the horror kind of feels not very naturally flowing. I know it's a part of it, but it's so heightened in its presentation that it doesn't feel creepy. It's just like, oh, that's a like a interesting look and style and effect, but it's not scary. When I was revisiting it, which is a little bit of a letdown. I think that they relied a lot on computer effects for a lot of it, which can be quite hit or miss and take you out of it. Which I think is a big improvement that I saw from the 2 episodes of Welcome to Derry. Is I think they leaned a lot more practically, and anything that was CG was mostly in like darkness. And I thought it was serving tenfold. Hell, fucking some of these screams and scares, I was like, oh wow, Pennywise really like stepped down in the movie eras, because this shit is the most intense shit I've ever seen from him.
It's always like my brother. I make fun of Pennywise. My brother. I'm always like, but Pennywise, just box his ass, just beat his ass. Because
Clown.
At the end of like, was it chapter 2? They all just like beat him up with sticks or something.
No, the first one I believe they do.
The first one?
Because it's the kids like overcoming their fear, and then the second one, they're just belittling him to take away any of his fear power whatsoever, and that's what ultimately does him in. Then they crush his heart.
Like Nathan, do you hear yourself?
You gotta figure that. You gotta figure that out though. Like if you're just like
figure that out. Just what are you talking about? Just say like, hey, I'm not bothered by this shit. I know it's fake. Box his ass. Like
yeah, but he can turn into a giant spider and stab you too. Like it's very like uneven in the power set.
It is very hard because it's like, oh, I know you can say like, oh, I know it's not real, but he can turn into a chainsaw. The chainsaw will affect you. It's hard.
It's more so like how do I frame it? It's his weakness that you exploit is the fact that he wants to scare you because then you'll taste better and be more satiating. That's what gets him. It's not like because he could stop you at any point. It's just he wants to commit to the bit for the betterment of himself, but it's not necessary, and that's what does him in when you can overcome that.
But going back to what you were saying, I remember like It and It Chapter 2 were huge like phenomenons, especially the first one. Is the first one still the highest grossing, or is it Chapter 2? One of those is the highest grossing horror movie of all.
Probably one, because it was such an anticipated thing, and like the big marketing of the the yellow trench coat on the kid and the balloons.
Yeah. But
I'll see their prices. I'll look them up.
Look at the box top. One of them has 700. I forget which one it was. I think you're right. I think it was Chapter 1.
Chapter 1 made 704 million worldwide on 35 million. Fuck. And Chapter 2 made 473 million on a 79 million budget.
Both of those are massive successes.
Yep.
But yeah, Chapter 1 I thought was like okay. I think I came out of Chapter 1 being like, that was a fun coming of age movie. Some of the horror didn't work for me. Some of the cliches and tropes didn't work for me. Even though I get it, it was like at that time, it's like, yeah. But like a big thing for like movies in general and TV shows, we'll get into it with the second episode here. But like the whole like bullying trope is just like, keep that shit in the 80s. And I get it. I know this show takes place in the 80s, so we got to put it in here. But it's like, I just don't. It's just not enjoyable to me at all. But in Chapter 2, I was so hyped because the cast was lit. A well-casted movie, Really
well. That was some of like the best. Like, oh, we have to have a brand new cast. Here's A+ all across the board.
Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, a great cast all around. But that one, yeah, I really did not like Chapter 2. I think this was my pre-Letterboxd days. But I think I would have given this like Chapter 2 would have been like a 2.5. I think like it was solid, but the horror wasn't really felt for me. The narrative was very disjointed. I remember there was a point in the movie where they all like went their separate ways or something in the middle of the movie. And then they all got like scared one by one or something after like their own individual horrors. It just
For which one?
Chapter 2. Like I forget what happened in the middle of the
It
movie or
was like
something.
they were like kind of like fighting like their own
Yeah,
like totem pieces of their childhood for each individual person.
yeah.
There's also a big theme with Bill's character, who's a surrogate Stephen King in the book anyway, and he runs into Stephen King in the second one, where he's a famous writer and he has this like really popular book, but everyone's like, but we all hate the ending, and I think that was reflective of the book, which in the original book they defeat Pennywise by doing the ritual, which they do in the movie, where like they like are chanting together and they secure the deadlights into the casing, which they end up doing in the movie, but like that was the end in the book. But then the movie made it so like that actually doesn't work, and they went into the overcoming of belittling him and like swapping the fear dynamics to physically defeat him.
Wait, say it again. What was the book ending?
The ancient tribe that first discovered Pennywise when he landed, that I don't remember the character's name. He had done the research about the history of it, and they have to like surround this like leather vase encasing to secure its deadlights into it while chanting in this ritual,
Okay.
and that would seal it away. And I guess
Gotcha.
that was the ending of the book itself, but then they took it a step further to make it more like physically climacting.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I remember just like the second one feeling very like disjointed in terms of the story. The horrors weren't as good, and then the ending was kind of just like not that captivating.
I was taken aback by majority of the performances in it. Chapter 2, the adults are acting as their children counterparts are, which is intentional for like their like stunted development because they're
Mhm.
latched onto the past. And I think they all play it very well. It is just like very surprising, like when I see James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, and other properties so often as just like normal adults, and like they're playing children.
Yeah, they did a good job performance-wise for sure. But getting into Welcome to Derry, I think this is a very in the miniseries it just is just a stop motion spider at the end. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Kind of
I
happens
remember that part as well.
in chapter 2 as well.
Is he a spider in chapter 2? Did you do the spider bit?
He's lower half, his legs are spider, but he's like Pennywise from the waist up. He's a giant Pennywise on spider legs.
Got it. Yeah. Um,
They
I
kind of show
liked it.
his original form in the flashback of the ritual stuff, where he's like he's already like taking a demonic form to like the native people, what they would see, but yeah.
Exactly. Like I like the miniseries, by the way. It's very different. It's very 90s. But I remember watching that before watching it in 2017 because my boss was a huge It miniseries fan. He was like, Evan, you got to watch this. And I think it's very well done. I think Tim Curry is very good. The pacing is better in the It miniseries because they have like a longer time.
I've heard
Maybe,
a lot of
but yeah.
I've heard like the big hurdle when adapting the new movies was that a lot of takeaways from the original miniseries, like people really like the stuff with the kids, but the adult stuff they were kind of like checking out on the original miniseries. So that was like a fine line they had to ride, and I think they did well again with the casting and whatnot.
Yeah. But anyways, long story short, getting into Welcome to Derry, I had my expectations low because I'm not a huge It movie fan or like the biggest of like fan of Andy Muschietti as a director, coming off of The Flash, which that was a hodgepodge.
There's some
But
Easter eggs.
there was what?
This is a Flash comic book Easter egg in the first
Yeah,
episode.
true. But I think his direction in the first episode was really strong. I think this Welcome to Derry is definitely a step in the right direction for him as a director and him as a visual storyteller. I think it was very strong. I think this is some of his best work. I think I'm already liking this better than the It movies. Granted, I think the first episode is phenomenal. I think I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. just on first glance, especially with that last act. That was very, very strong. The second episode, though, wasn't my favorite. Granted, there's only been 2 episodes. Was my favorite. I didn't like it as much as the first. I didn't like it as much as the first episode. I just felt like narratively. Now, I watched this on Halloween. HBO said this is an hour-long episode. And it felt like it was a 2-hour episode. And I think the pacing was just all over the place for me because there were just so many different storylines that they had to cover in that second episode. They introduced the entire main cast, the cast that we're actually going to stick with. Because spoiler alert, 70% of the cast dies at the end of the first episode.
Did not see coming.
Did not see that coming at all. So in the second episode, we had to deal with okay, we have Lily, which is the main white girl in the show, and then you have Ronnie, the black daughter in the show. Those are our 2 protagonists. But at the same time, we're also getting introduced to these fucking names are killing me, dog.
There's a lot of names to learn. We've just started this show.
So the Hanlon, we're getting the Hanlon family with Charlotte, the wife, Leroy, the father, and then Will Hanlon, their son. Of course, they're all related to the black guy from the It movie.
Are they?
Right?
You
just watched this.
I know, but I'd have to check it. I really only pay attention to the first names a lot of the time.
Yeah. Will Hanlon's like the grandfather of no, Will Hanlon is the one that dies in the fire. Right?
Yeah, which just teasing me up for a tragic ending for one of these characters.
Yeah, so I think Will,
if that is the case. I know
Draven, I bet Draven knows.
I know the bully's character, Henry Bowers. I think we're following his grandfather as the chief of police in this show. And he seems okay, because I think his father was okay. Just Henry's insane.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was related to that guy as well.
That's the Bowers name. I was like, oh shit.
But did we get a comment?
Not yet.
Oh,
but he's watching the number of viewers.
But yeah, I think Will Hanlon, because people are saying on Twitter that in the movie there's what his grandfather died in a fire or something.
Right.
Or maybe there's 2 separate fires. There's one fire at a factory, and then there's another fire. Yeah. Dick Halloran. Dick Halloran. No, not Dick Halloran. Hanlon. Will Hanlon. Isn't Will Hanlon the one who is who dies or something?
Or Will Hanlon is who we're following in the show.
Will Hanlon is the one that we're following in the show, but in the canon of the universe, he dies years later, right? In the fire, something like that.
Yes.
But either way. So yeah, second episode we're introduced to a bigger showcase for Will. We got Charlotte, his mom, Leroy, his dad. We get more stuff from what's it called here? Halloran, the guy who can sense stuff going on there. And then, of course, we're still, again, stuck with Lily's storyline. I just felt like there was a lot of storylines going in different directions. It was kind of hard to keep track of everything. And then, most of all, it was just the second episode is really diving into why Derry is a terrible place. It's awful. And for me as a viewer, it just wasn't fun to watch. Charlotte walks out of the store, kids getting beat up, and then nobody does anything. I get it. This is the show, but at the same time, you have everybody in the show is racist. We just cut
60s.
cut the bullshit. Every character in this show is racist, maybe besides Lily, but you don't really fucking know. So I'm just like, everybody's racist.
There's at least inherited like teachings.
Right, like every time you follow a black character, they're hit with racism in the second episode.
Everyone's glancing like they've never seen this before.
Right,
which
like
I'm sure this occurred.
Yeah, like Charlotte walks out, and then every one of Charlotte's storylines had to do with like her being like looked at weird, or her being like, why am I the only one doing anything weird? Granted, I know she's coming out like she's a visitor to Derry. She's not born and raised in Derry, and we know Derry is like steeped in darkness because of like Pennywise and all that kind of shit. But just like, it's also a very racist town in general. So a lot of the storylines were just very like unnerving, uncomfortable. Like it was wild.
I think that stuff in town is like, it's supposed to go in tandem with most of the story for all these iterations, where like the town is very passive to this violence against children because of just like the overarching hold that Pennywise's energy has over Derry itself. I also wonder how much is being, since this is a fairly original story, like how much is still pulling from its book, since we're basically in the original childhood setting for the book for when it was that timeline was written, bouncing between the past and present adults. I wonder if we're taking like thematic stuff from there to fuel into the overarching story of this world.
That's what Andy said, right? I think he said a lot of the Andy Muschietti. I said Andy like I'm best friend with him.
You guys pals.
That's what him and his wife said. They took a lot of inspiration from the short stories within it, or at least like the interludes. I forget what it's called. I never read the book. Okay. So I think that's what a lot of the inspiration came from. A lot of this stuff is canon, but they're also taking a lot of liberties as well to, you know, make it into a narratively engaging TV show. Hence, a lot of people were kind of, again, this is just me looking through osmosis on Welcome to Derry Twitter. But a lot of people were kind of upset or confused by like the military presence. So I don't know if the military had a big presence in the novel, but it does here in the books. But I think the part of like the totems was still canon. So there's things that are canon, things that aren't, but like they're just combining things to make it more seamless.
I'm sure. It's interesting how it'll go, because like from what episode before we read Javen's comment, when we go into episode 2, by the end of it, we're realizing that the military doesn't know, but effectively they're hunting Pennywise to weaponize his power of fear against whoever, I guess like the Soviets and whatnot for the Cold War. Obviously that's going to backfire because like we don't have fucking Pennywise weaponized by the 80s. However, that's going to go down. But I do wonder how things are going to roll out, which I do have interesting things to say with Raven's comment. She says, I wonder just how far the show is going to connect to the whole entire Stephen King universe, which I see like a little like seeds sown in that I can see them like branching towards, at least like grazing them. I don't think we're going to like hop into other Stephen King story. Do you know about that? Stephen King has like a greater like universe connecting his stories.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna be part of Welcome to Derry. Wouldn't
that
be totally
not necessarily. Like I don't think we're into, because usually like the center of like Stephen King's multiverse is like the Dark Tower stories. That's how it's all accessible through all these different realms. I think like a little bit of like Castle Rock does that too. I need to watch that. I heard that was good. Mark Bernard wrote on that. But yeah, I see like a few things. Like we had brought up I forget the character's name, who has like this sense of like these around these digging sites.
Halloran,
yeah. I think he has the Shining, which is what's giving him his ability to sense these things.
Okay. I have heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, which we obviously see in the Shining itself, and is further explored in like Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, he's a character in the Shining.
Yeah. And I see like a lot of they're doing like a lot of imagery with the turtle, which they did in the movies because that was a greater like cosmic force. Like that's too silly to do in this big Hollywood blockbuster. But I also feel like with how much they keep focusing on turtle stuff, I'm like they might actually tap into this. Maybe not this like you're gonna not. I would say that, but they keep focusing on it.
I was surprised when they like the first episode. I'm like, okay, that was an Easter egg with the necklace thing. But then in the like previously on, they also showed the turtle scene again, and I'm like, it's an Easter egg. There's no way we see a random alien turtle thing. It's not going to happen.
It was funny because it was like they had like the turtle says duck and cover is like the name of their mascot. It was on and then we see the mascot itself. And I'm like, okay, yes, fun. But then they were like, specifically the first boy that goes missing had a like little charm of a turtle that he gives to Lily, which is significant to her. And I'm like, I feel like we're sowing seed for like later. I don't know, especially if we're like touching on like a character from The Shining and stuff like that. It opens the door a bit for me, and because it's like a streaming series, I could see them going a bit crazier than something that's more, because even like some of like the set pieces they're doing for scares are so gnarly that I'm like, damn, I don't even know if they would do that in the movie, but like they're going for it here. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going for it here, and it's very fascinating because I think that's some of the best parts of the show. David does say like because we got Dick Keller from The Shining and we got Shawshank mentioned. Was Shawshank mentioned in the series?
I missed it, but I guess it could have been. Do you know about the turtle itself? Do you know about it?
My boss and I used to talk about it all the time. Again, granted, I never read the book, so I just know it from my boss at the library I used to work at. He used to talk about all the it shit and lore stuff with me all the time. Like it's not original form, right? But just like
it's
one
like
of many forms that it takes.
It's like a eldritch being, like a cosmic entity, like a Cthulhu and whatnot. It's supposed to be like the polar opposite of Pennywise, representing creation and good. I think the existence of our world itself exists upon the back of this turtle, ethereally speaking.
Oh, okay.
And is like the like polar opposite of Pennywise, and it is one of like many guardians that protects the like the Dark Tower centric stuff itself. Again, it's a wider multiverse that King has made when he was on drugs. But,
is this like in the prologue to it? Like, where is this placed in the book?
I'm not sure where in the. Well, let me see.
Is that like an interlude that people are learning about, or I don't know how the book is structured.
It provides guidance to the Losers Club, particularly Bill during the ritual of Chud. Okay, so I guess like while they're like doing like the chant stuff, it's like metaphysically guiding them to aid them in their fight against taking down Pennywise in the final stance.
Fascinating. I'll be 90% sure they don't include that in the show, but you never know. This is pretty much all in the Dark Tower parts.
I do want to get into
the Dark Tower parts of the book, or Dark Tower parts of like the Dark Tower book itself is referencing it.
Probably that as well. I know there's like, even when like the Dark Tower movie came out, I have like Easter eggs to different things of King's work. I really want to dive into the lore of the Dark Tower. I haven't yet, but like with how sprawling it is, it sounds quite interesting to me, and me only apparently.
I'm saying, what do you can do? Read Audible? You don't read books, Nathan.
I don't know. Is there a graphic novel? My voice cracking. I'll do it.
Are there pictures? I can do pictures.
Listen, guys, I will fuck up an Audible. Okay, I read 1984. I read 1984.
Listen to that shit.
That shit was good. Andrew Garfield. Oh my god.
Which I think my plan is going to do a Dark Tower TV show.
He
said he was, and then he did the Carrie TV show, and then he got hired to do Exorcist. I don't know if that Dark Tower shit's going to happen.
Listen, Evan, 2040. It's coming.
2040 is going to happen, yeah. Dark Tower is just so hard to get like mass audience appeal. You know,
it shouldn't. It's cool. Fucking gunslinger. Like, just make someone cool.
Sci-fi gunslinger. It's hard. It's hard.
That's kind
But
of
I
funny
think
though,
if
because
anybody
like
can do it, Mike Flanagan.
that's funny because like obviously like the movie didn't do well for anybody, but like you had casted Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey as the rivals of the Dark Tower franchise. I'm like, that's amazing. And honestly, their back and forths are the most engaging part of that movie.
I never watched the movie. It just like I think what was it? The 1-2 hit of like Cowboys and Aliens and the Lone Ranger, like those two being awful, killed like the Western sci-fi genre in general.
What a bummer, because that was Dark Tower was 2017.
I think again, people just weren't interested. It didn't look appealing. Again, when was the last great like sword and sandal movie? Right? Like I think it's just
Gladiator
hard to,
2.
I did like Gladiator 2. It wasn't great, but like
sure,
it was good.
But I wonder if I mean, yes, like the product needs to be better, but I wonder if Dark Tower would have had more eyes on it, like post both It movies, because it releasing roughly the same time as the first It adaptation. Obviously, there's hype around it, but like all focus is going to be there, right? It's not going to be on like this thing that has, hey, there's a little tiny Pennywise Easter egg.
I don't think, I don't think the Dark Tower is going to get a boost because of being the Stephen King adaptation related to It.
But there's been like a number of adaptations of King's work lately that have been doing mostly well and mostly like popular. Like like there's been adaptations of Carrie, and like they did Castle Rock, like I mentioned, which is a couple of different things, and like
they did Long Walk, right?
Yeah, Long Walk. They did what was it? There's one with am I misremembering this thing with the nurse? That might have been for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I don't think is his. Either way, though, I feel like King is like his work is on like a more popular upswing now in adaptation.
I see what you're saying, yeah. But yeah, I think the first episode here was very strong. We get introduced to Maddie, and that whole prologue with Maddie was truly terrifying. Very well shot. And let me tell you my experience, Nathan, with what Maddie was going through in that car. Draven says, by the way, most of the good adaptations have been done by Flanagan. That's very true. I think the Doctor Sleep movie is one of the best movies of the 2010s in general.
I really like it. I still haven't seen its extended edition, but I'm very intrigued too.
Oh, me neither. Yeah. Yeah, Mike Flanagan's killing it. Did Stephen King also do that Chuck movie, Life of Chuck? Was that Stephen King?
I don't know. Maybe more like King's more like a non sci-fi horror stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, Maddie was killing me in that opening prologue. So he's in his car. He gets in the car. The family like takes him in. The mom immediately starts acting sus. When she has the whole like pregnancy craziness shit, the car isn't unlocked. It's locked on him, so he can't open the door. And the dad is driving, guys. The dad is driving. The mom is like having a full-on pregnancy, and Maddie over here is just like screaming. Guys, if that happens, the number one thing to do, beat up the driver. I don't care. I know I'm in the car too, but we're all going down. I'm not getting hoed on. I'm not getting hoed. I'm not getting destroyed. Ain't no way. Well,
you know, at a point, he reaches for the steering wheel. He's trying. That is also adult man strength, but
sure, but not if you jump on somebody that's driving. There's no way he can drive and one hand, deflect you. Like I'm jumping on his ass. Pause.
I always keep presenting logic to Evan's reasonings for these horror situations, and mostly it's true, but then Evan's like, you have nothing to lose, you're gonna die now, fuck it. It is always his answer. It's like, that's not the immediate thought of a child.
But Nathan, look,
I understand. I know you want to live. He's not the same.
Like she gives birth to the monster is like at the bottom of her feet, and then he's just like he's aghast So he doesn't know what to do here. And then the alien like shoots up to the back of the car. He turns around. He's like, "What happened? Where did he?" I'm like, "There's no questioning." Again, I am beating up the mom. I'm sorry, she's catching these hands, and then I'm beating up the dad as well. Come on.
If you were a boy,
yes.
in fucking 1962,
yes, continue.
And you just have not seen fuck all of insane shit because we're in conservative America circa the 60s.
Yeah,
and then you see like some weird ass shit that defies all logic. Like you're borderline the fucking people who watch the train come at the screen in the fucking 20s. Comparatively, you're like, I don't know what the hell's happening.
I get it. Draven says Midnight Mass was pretty much the better Salem's Lot remake over the actual Salem's Lot remake. Yeah, that remake was not good, Bob. But
Midnight Mass, I hear it is.
Midnight Mass is a masterpiece. Is Midnight Mass a Stephen King thing?
I don't think so. I think he's just comparatively saying it's a similar story.
Okay.
More like Midnight Ass. Just kidding. I haven't seen it. I think I'd like it a lot.
You would. It's.
I feel bad saying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should apologize. Thank you. Yeah, definitely apologize. I would consider that a masterpiece, a midnight masterpiece.
Or like Haunting of Shill House, because it's Netflix. I'll see myself.
Nathan. Out. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Midnight Mass, Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor. All three, I think, are easy 9 out of 10. Great show. Great shows. But yeah, that whole intro, I was like, okay, I was locked in because that was a phenomenal intro. Again, I wouldn't have done what Maddie did, but I was shocked that he just died that way. And I get it. Nathan's right. I get it as a kid. But either way, in this universe, everybody's catching these hands. I swear to God.
From now on, I'm just gonna say to Evan, like, if you were a Victorian child.
If I was a black Victorian child or a white Victorian child, that's the bigger question too.
You don't hear much about the black Victorian children.
Yeah,
Why
there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot.
Where were we? Oh no. Why don't Sword and Sandals do well anymore?
So yeah, but first episode, again, long story short, we get introduced to Lily. One of them was like Rich and Teddy. Let me see here. Lily, Rich, and Teddy. I was
ready, Evan. I was ready that these were our main characters. They're on the poster. They're in this balloon. This balloon on our stream.
I know, that's wild. It was Lily, Phil, and his sister Susie. Lily, Phil, Susie, and Teddy. Those were the guys, not Rich. Sorry. And I like this dynamic. They're all basically dealing with like the death of Maddie in that first episode. Lily is kind of like coming back from this is an important bit of her character. She's coming back from the quote unquote loony bin, as the other bullies make fun of her. She basically went to like rehab.
But like bad, not good mental medicine, lobotomy, psychiatrics.
Yeah, I want to see like I mean, I don't want her to go back there, but she has. So we'll probably she has gone back there, which is interesting. Like at the end of the episode 2, we saw her go back there, but in the previews for next week, she's like back in town working with Ronnie, and I'm like,
we got to escape. Escape plan.
Did she just escape? Is she like? Are we not gonna? I'll be very upset if we walk in episode 3 and it's just like, I'm back out, bitches. I'm like, wait, like, because episode 2 made a big plot point of her just being scared to go back in there in the first place. That she plays Ronnie's dad.
Maybe she'll know how to play the system.
Maybe she like
tell them what they want to hear.
And then but either way,
it's happened before.
Either way, we get introduced to Lily, Teddy, and Phil and Susie. Phil and Susie are kind of, or specifically Philip. He's like the other nerdy kid. He's like, forget about Maddie. You know, that whatever happened was weird. Teddy is the one who kind of like can't get over it. And I like how, like, again, the fact that like Maddie was talking to them, Pennywise was talking through Maddie to these kids and kind of like pushing them by the end of the episode to go to the theater. They were all kind of like having these individual horrific moments. It was very cool. I kind of like, I like that like seediness, the eeriness to that first episode is really strong. And then the whole last bit in the theater was very, very like unsettling, gruesome, insane, lots of great tension. I think the first episode in general was just very strong. And we're also introduced to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'd say your thought first. So I was going to go into.
I was going to say I like getting introduced to. Let me get the names right. Leroy Hanlon. Leroy Hanlon. We meet his wife Charlotte in the second episode, but Leroy is the new major. I think he's a major in town. And once again, immediate racism. Like every black character has to do with racism in their storylines. It's exhausting. But he gets there, and then you get the one racist dude just like, I'm not going to call him by his sergeant or major. I'm not going to put any respect on him. And then the chief comes in and says like, boom, you're out of here, buddy, for not respecting the black guy. But I don't want to call my shot, but I immediately knew two things in his first episode. The chief, the guy who was like protected Hanlon, who said like, hey, who was being rude to you? Was it that guy? Well, we reprimanded him. I knew he was sus. I just like, I'm not trusting any old white dude, especially in the military. And then in the second episode, when he admitted to being like, yeah, it was a test. I was like, I immediately called that it was a test, that it wasn't just some racist attack. I was like, this is a test, right? Like the more I was specifically when like I didn't call it that it was a test until the guy asked like, what's the schematics of like this thing that you're working on or whatever. And Leroy was like, you're gonna have to kill me. I ain't saying shit. And I'm like, damn. Couldn't be me, but I'm not in the military. But he didn't fold. He didn't fold. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, so this is a test. And then it took all of the second episode for him to realize that it was a test. But I thought it was going to be revealed. Like, okay.
I thought it was going to be revealed as a test. Well, first off, like it just like setting up the spooky figures out the window. I was like, well, this has to be humans because Pennywise doesn't fuck with adults unless they're pre-children victims.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. But then like, yeah, when he's like, you're going to have to kill me, I was like, okay, this feels like a test. But then like they kept on the fight. And then they run away after his friend helps him out. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know.
Yeah, it gave me pause because they really beat his ass. I'm like, damn, like this is the test, and like you're beating him in the back, in the legs, in the ribs. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
Even the sergeant later is like, yeah, I didn't mean for them to go that far. It's
like, yeah, because you hire two white guys to beat up a black guy. I assume they're going to go easy on him for free. Yeah. So
that sergeant, a great actor, by the way.
Great actor. He's in a lot of shit. Yeah, he's great. Kind of plays a similar role in all his shit. I like it.
Yeah. What point was I gonna go for? What were we talking about just before this?
We're talking about Leroy Hanlon. We're talking about Phil and Teddy and Maddie.
I think I was just gonna be talking about the whole the gruesomeness of the ending of episode 1.
Yes.
Just like reflectively, like I think like the most gruesome scenes have involved children in both of the movies, but like they haven't gone to such a violent degree as this one did. Like the sewer scene with Georgie in the opener of the first one is pretty intense, like that slow burn until he gets his arm bit off and like he's like crawling away with like the missing limb and like it's stretching out the ground. Like that's pretty gnarly, especially like when you see the impact of the bite. Other one being like there was the kid that McAvoy's trying to save in like the glass maze, but he gets chomped into the glass. But it's like he gets chomped like into the off camera, into the splatter, even though it's radar. But you don't see the evisceration, right? Stuff like that. But then here I'm like I'm seeing them explode against windows and get torn apart.
That was a great shot where we turned to the perspective of Ronnie, the black girl, in the projection area. And the next thing you know, you see, what's his name? Teddy get flung at the projection screen, like half of his body just splattered. And I'm just like, this is awesome. This is cinema. So it was really cool. It was really cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I was really taken aback.
This show so far does have one up over Stranger Things, where almost none of these kids are safe. Yeah, it's funny, Draven, because do you watch Stranger Things, Nathan?
I do. I'm caught up.
You're caught up. Okay, we should do a review of that when they drop. Especially because they're all spaced out. Every season, Stranger Things is like, who's going to die? Who's going? I'm like, nobody is. Nobody's going to die. At least the main cast. Like, we're all fine here.
Hey,
like,
man, I lost
no
Eddie,
stakes.
and I'm still hoping he comes back, but who knows?
I knew Eddie was hoed. Every new character in that show gets killed. You can't be a supporting cast member.
Don't tell me the formula right before the final season.
Luckily for the final season, I don't know if there's any like big new cast member, right? Is it just all OGs coming back? I think.
I suppose you're right. And also that also could tee it up for like you could lose somebody in this.
We could lose somebody. Yeah, we could lose somebody because like the final season. But even then, I'm like, I doubt they kill off. What's the popular guy with the bat that everybody likes? What's his name?
Steve.
Steve, yeah, the main guy, Steve. He's not dying, guys. He's plot protected for sure.
Can we heal Max? Because that was awful what they did to her. My God.
What happened to Max again at the end?
She got her arms and legs broken and blinded. She's practically paralyzed. She's in the ICU.
How did that happen again?
Vecna got her.
Was that after the running up the hill sequence?
Yeah, that like we saved her on like that was like episode 4 or 5. And then in the finale, Max was got and 11 got her just before the final blow. But she was no, there was the final blow. 11 was able to consciously bring her back, but she was still her body was broken.
That was admittedly I was laughing because I'm like granted, it was a bad scene. I felt bad for Max. I'm sorry, guys. But at the same time, I know. Let me rephrase that. It was just like in the moment, I'm like, oh damn, oh shit. But after the moment, I'm like, how do you come back from that? Like you wake up, your body is like in pieces. How do they like in the trailers? They have. I only watched like the first teaser. I didn't watch any of the trailers for this season. I
haven't seen her in the trailers.
But I see like homeboy, the black guy. What's his name? He's like carrying her or something. Like he's Joel from The Last of Us, and he's like in an elevator.
Is that from season 4? Like a flashback?
I don't think so. I think it's from this season.
I think it'd be like a new shot, but like from the time period before the present that we're watching.
He looks grown. I don't think it's a flashback.
You can't work around that. Like they can't. They're too tall to de-age.
No. What I'm saying is like Max is like in a hospital gown and he's like in an elevator and there's like a Demogorgon chasing them.
Okay. That makes sense.
And she seemed. I'm just like, how are your bones better? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, you could heal that over time. We're definitely going to do a time skip.
Yeah, there's like a 5-year time skip, they said, or 3 years.
Classic 5-year.
If you are a new character on Stranger Things, then your days are numbered. Exactly. I mean, that's just what it is. But again, luckily, nobody's dead. If I had to do a quick Stranger Things death prediction, whatever, I think the mom, what's her name? Homegirl.
Joyce.
Joyce. Dead.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me. Don't put that evil on me. I don't
But
want
like
my
her and
notes.
Hopper together. Like
I
have
do.
no. I have.
Come on, don't fucking Raylo me, bitch. Don't make me live in sadness.
Oh, don't compare this to Raylo.
No, you're right. This would be they've achieved the hunt for Ben Solo because Hopper fucking lived and he fucking trained and he broke out and they were reunited. I got that shit.
Yeah, he
that.
came back from Russia. That was crazy. That was a
With
storyline.
love.
With love. Yeah, I what's it called? Oh, did that pilot guy? Did he die too? What happened to him? Is he alive?
Oh, you Murray?
Was it Yurik? I forget his name.
Who don't know?
The pilot guy from season 4. Wasn't there a pilot dude or something? The guy that helped fly them to Russia?
Yeah, he's alive.
He's alive? Okay.
Yeah, he was in the season before that too.
Okay, I forgot him. I just like the gaps for these shows. I'm like, I forget all my emotional attachments out the window. Like I don't care anymore. It's been so long.
That's why they keep doing the previously ons, which thank God.
Thank God. Like I'm gonna have to watch like a 50. I'm not watching the season over again. Those things are long as hell. But I'm gonna have to watch like a 15-minute recap about like what happened.
Season 4, especially like the last 2 episodes are like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, wow.
That's it. It takes way too long for those shows to come back to me. But anyways, did you have any more thoughts on like that first episode again for it chapter or Welcome to Derry part 1 here?
Not for the first episode. I was definitely like really surprised that we knocked off like 60% of the roster of our main characters, and then I was pleasantly surprised to see like the buildup of the new main kids that we would be following in the second one. And I like who we got. I like the cast that we have. They're very strong characters comparatively. I also felt like maybe it's just like an effect that like kids from the 80s definitely grew to be more vulgar than kids who were in the 60s, but like all the kids here feel like genuine small children, and it makes it a bit more visceral when they get hurt and attacked.
That's a good point. But I am with you. Are the kids that you're saying that you like here are they like Will the black kid, the black boy?
Yeah,
I like him a lot. He's very like I don't know how to call it, but like you immediately sympathize with him. He's a very smart kid. He's very relatable. He likes science. Like I can definitely relate to that guy a lot. Ronnie, who I think is the best character in the show, bar none. Like bar none. Lily, I did like you. Then you fucking played her dad. Her dad.
But they're fucking manipulating a child.
No. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Right,
I don't give a fuck.
Not to save the white girl, but
what a surprise, Nathan! Go on, save the white girl.
Surprise. Do you know me? Do you know me? I tweet you first in all of the tags before me. So logically, I'm not. No. Okay, but in fairness, for real, she is like definitely like traumatized from her time in that fucking place, and they're threatening her to go back.
Yeah. I'm mostly I'm mostly playing around. This is the thing about good TV. It's like I understand it from both their perspectives. I'm black. So I'm mostly. Oh, really? I know, right? Yeah. Shocker.
But your lighting didn't let me know that. I thought you were Chilean. For the Stranger Things finale. It was almost there.
That's
like
nuts.
40.
That's nuts. But what was I gonna say? I understand the circumstances with Ronnie. I empathize with the circumstances of Ronnie and her dad more than what Lily went through. Because again, as an audience member, I just haven't seen what Lily went through at her asylum. I see her get bullied about it, and I know she's like to the verge of tears. She doesn't want to go back. I just can't connect to that as an audience member because I just haven't visually seen what she has gone through, which is why I hope that we do see a little bit of like, okay, what exactly happened to you here? Was it an effect of Pennywise, or was it just Derry being a fucked up institution place?
I think it is. I think it's something we're going to see. At the very least, we're going to see the effects of what other patients are going through. But I'm sure we'll flashback to her time as well. I especially get that feel when we got the new title card for episode 2, which I thought was really good in the stylized artwork from the 60s. One of which was inside the facility, and someone's taking like a really long needle to a patient's eye, and I'm like, God, like if you've heard about the concepts of these stories of like these not very medically accurate attacks of psychosis or like shock therapy and shit like that, like how disturbing those real horror stories are. So that autofills in my brain, and I'm sure we're going to get into a bit of it.
100%. So that's very intriguing. But what we do see visually is Ronnie's dad getting blamed for the murders of Phil, Susie, and Teddy and those kids. Episode 2 was all about how the community needs answers. They need answers. Yeah. We need somebody to blame. And luckily, we got a black guy to blame. So that's who they want to blame. They want to blame the black guy who wasn't even there. But at the end of the episode, the chief, there's a chief, and then there's like the boss at the military. And I always get confused.
The chief, who is, I believe, the grandfather of Henry Bowers.
Yeah, so there's a chief, and then what I keep thinking of is the General Shaw. General Shaw seemed to be on the up and up. He's just like not getting manipulated, but he's just following the Pennywise tracks, which just leads to hell. It's going to lead to nothing good. But then we got the chief, who is like racist and just like, I guess, I don't know. I don't trust him. Because like, the people, they need answers, and the only person I got is her dad, who was a projectionist who works there but wasn't there. But Lily, can you be certain that he wasn't there 100%? And of course, she off screen says, well, I can't be 100% sure that he wasn't there in the first place. So
and that's enough to go off of, which is crazy.
And that happened all the time throughout history, even nowadays. Yeah. So
the real horror of it that you didn't realize the whole video essay.
I mean, again, that's what made this second episode so like, eye rolly, but also like anger, because every storyline is just like, okay, the black guy at the military, he's getting lied to the entire episode because it turns out it was a test thing. Charlotte gets like laughed at, ridiculed because she is defending a kid who's getting bullied. Ronnie gets nightmare. We'll talk about that scene in a second. But she gets hit with a nightmare, and she gets like bullied at school. She gets thrown in detention, and then her best friend Lily, is indirectly related to her dad going to jail. It's just like Will runs down the hall, gets thrown in detention. I'm like, what is happening? Every black character got hold in that episode. It was ridiculous.
So you say your main issue is that it's literally every black character is attacked, and you feel that's unrealistic?
No,
or it's just too much, too predictable?
It's completely realistic. I get it on two accounts. Like, again, this is a very racist period, and Derry specifically is a very bad place where, as Nathan said, people just turn the other direction. So you compound that with the racism. It's just exactly Pennywise has infected this entire town. It just made it very unwatchable. But at the same time, I tweeted this out. For one, it's going to take some getting used to. And two, I think mostly because a lot of these characters were separate and this episode was dealing with all these separate storylines, I think once we get the characters coming together, like in the first episode, all these characters were coming together and it made for a very exciting episode until they all died. I think once Will works with Ronnie, who works with Lily, once these characters get on the same page and their storylines become more united, I think that it's going to make things more engaging and more watchable instead of like one storyline where Will gets thrown into detention. Next thing, Ronnie's yelling at Lily. Then the next thing, her dad gets thrown in jail. It's like it was like one bad thing after another. But I think this episode just did a really good job, to my angerment or whatever. It did a good job just selling us on how bad Derry is. You do not want to go to Derry. Derry is absolutely awful. So when you get to the point in the first episode when Matthew was like, "Get me anywhere but Derry," you understand the kid. He's not even black, but you understand. He's like, "Get me the hell out of here. I want to leave," which is just crazy. And also another point, when Charlotte comes back for dinner, homeboy Leroy is just like, don't make a scene. Basically, he's like telling her like, why do you have to because she's telling him about how like, isn't it crazy that this kid was getting bullied and I was the only one who said anything? And Leroy's expression was kind of like he was getting mad at her, and she's like, why are you getting mad at me? He was like, it's been a long day at work, I can't talk about it. And I'm just like, that's just what the town does to you. Like it makes you shrink. Basically, it makes you shrink amongst all the social pressures.
It makes me wonder if there's like a mental reason for his character responding to his wife that way, because they reveal at the end of the episode his injury effectively like knocked out his basis for fear, which would make him a upper hand going up against somebody like Pennywise, whose main power is fear. So it's kind of like, hey, what if we did After Earth but cool?
Was that a plot point in After Earth?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is like Will Smith's character, like the aliens that invaded, they sense the fear in individuals. They're blind; they can only see fear, so that's how they get them. But because he doesn't have any physical fear, he's like the top soldier who takes them all out, and he has to teach his son to let go of his fear to survive in like a crashed ship situation. It's a cool setup, but execution was iffy.
Does Jaden Smith get over his fear? Does he work it out?
Have to watch them. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch After. Sorry, M. Night.
Watch Pursuit of Happiness for Will and Jaden team up.
Exactly. But yeah, that part was very interesting. Basically, like I think, was this because of the recent injury, or was this always a part of Leroy Hamlin, whereas like his amygdala wasn't he can't sense fear?
This is a part. This is in his like records. That's why they're doing the test on him, to see like if he would crack under like the gun into his face and whatnot, which he didn't. So that's the interesting. But that what made me wonder is like maybe that's why he's also like not really taking much. Like it seems like most people around him, like when he's faced with like that racist guy, and like everyone's like throwing the book at the racist asshole, and then they're like, we're gonna make sure that never happens again. He's just like, thanks. And like from like a moral perspective, he's like, yeah, that makes sense, good justice. But he never appears offended or worrisome about it whatsoever. And I wonder if that like damage to his amygdala is why, and why he's not responding to like the town, being like attacky and whatnot.
True. Good point. And I'm excited to see his storyline connect, Leroy Hamlin connect to Dick Halloran. I don't know why Stephen King made these last names very similar. Not cool. But Halloran also, as we mentioned, has a psychic ability, the Shining, basically, where he can sense can he sense the totems, right, around town, apparently?
I believe so. That's his primary usage for the team, and like why he has the special privileges. And I guess it's been proven for use before, and it's paid off here because he ends up finding what appears to be the crash car from the opening of episode 1 with Maddie and the family, the original, the bodies of them. That's what it looked like to me, because they were like all the same number of corpses in the placement of the car.
Oh shit, that's cool. So was that family actually were those actual people, and that wasn't all just a vision from Pennywise?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like past victims that he
Oh,
took
got
the
it,
forms
got it,
of.
got it, got it. Past victims who were already dead took the forms of. Got it, got it, got it. Good. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Am I missing anything from the first two? Oh, Nathan, we had to talk about Marge. You
Simpson?
can go to hell, Marge. No, not
Oh.
you, Simpson. Her Lily's best friend.
Yes. She is
Awful.
very
Awful.
very pick me. Very.
I
God
couldn't
damn it!
stand
Like
this. I
she
couldn't stand
started
this.
off. I'm like, oh, what a cool friend! Like standing up for her friend when she got pickles poured on her. Fuck yeah! And then she's like, I don't know. Let me make fun of even like the person in this group I'm trying to be in, so I can be with the larger number of people to get them to like me. And then they still don't. And God. She keeps riding this line, and I think she's got like that awakening when Lily was like, these three died. I don't give a fuck about your friend group. Who cares? And turns away. And I think hopefully she's on an uptick for character growth, because fuck, this is bad.
She's rock bottom. I don't know if she's gonna get that character growth. I couldn't stand it because
if she does, it has to stop now.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's twofold, right? Because on one end, she's trying to make Lily fit in. So she's like, "Hey, Lily, I'm trying to get you with the I don't even know what the group name is, but like, I'm trying to get you in with the cool kids, but you're not doing a good enough job. You got to help me out here, Lily." I'm like, and Lily, like you said, was like, "F off." Like, people died. I don't care what they have to say, especially when there's like 300 students at school. I don't care what 3 people say about me. I really don't care. And that's high school and that's adolescence in general. Not giving a crap about what other people say to you as you go into like college and out of high school. It's like you start to realize, I don't care what Susie and Bridget think about me. I really don't give a crap. It's just Marge is still at that premature stage of just like, we gotta fit in. But that's everybody. But also, you can tell that other people aren't really. They have their clicks and they're sticking with it. Marge is just like in that stage where she doesn't know where she belongs, so she thinks she belongs with the cool kids when she really doesn't. And the funny thing is, the second part of this whole insane character work that she's going through is that when she's making fun of somebody or when she was laughing, the other 2 girls of that like cool kid group were laughing with her, and then the most
the
annoying
group,
one, the head of the group, she caught on that her friends were laughing with Marge, and instantly went into, "Hey, Marge, didn't you wear that sweater yesterday?" In which, by the way, guys, just for an Evan Harris FYI, if somebody ever tells you, "Did you wear this shit yesterday?" you just say, "Yeah, the fuck, maybe I did. Why are you watching what clothes I'm wearing? What the fuck?" And then you
I could have did a load of laundry last night. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what I did. And first of all, why are you watching what clothes I wear? And then you just go into them, basically. You attack them. Because, and I say this to,
you stab them.
You stab them. I say this to people, students all the time. I'm like, when you go to college, nobody gives a flying fuck what you're doing. People went to my college room wearing their pajamas. You know what people said? Nothing. You could go into college wearing your pajamas. It could be 10 p.m. and you're wearing Kylo Ren, pajama pants. I don't say shit because people are grown adults, and that's just like how it is when you're an adult. You stop caring what other people think. You just live your own life. Put your headphones on, and you do you. High school, though, you think that it's called that like psychological, that light bulb effect, where you think everybody's watching you, when that's just not the case. People don't really give a shit. People have their own, especially in high school, people have their own shit to deal with. You might think that people are watching you, but they're really not. People don't give a shit.
The most you'll see of that of your modern adult life is like random ass comments of people who have like faceless accounts who have nothing going on in their own lives.
Yeah, social media, which makes it even easier to just like mute, block, get that out of your way.
I had an Acolyte tweet blow up a couple days ago, and I got fucking bombarded with so many fucking haters. And I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not. Yeah. y'all representing me stupid bullshit. No.
Yeah.
I did fight back on that because I was like, I was mad a little, but I was like, also, this is why I stopped. This is why I stopped engaging with these things like 10 years ago. Because I'm like, this is draining. This is boring. They're not going to listen to your statistics because they'll make up their own bullshit. It's like politics. It's horrible.
The point to another article that benefits them, and then it's like, see, this article is agreeing with me.
Yeah, but that was in accordance to the performance there. If you look at something like how Wednesday performed compared, and it's like, that's established. I went on the whole thing. We're not doing it again.
We're not comparing the Acolyte to the biggest show on Netflix. Yeah.
Of an established because they're like, but Star Wars established, but that's new characters. Wednesday is like the 5th iteration, and they're all popular.
Exactly. And it's Netflix. Netflix has a bigger audience than Disney Plus.
Burton,
exactly.
So
I'm pretty sure you can point to like Percy Jackson, which was a big Disney Plus hit, and it had probably like 80% less viewers than like Wednesday. That's just because it is Netflix versus Disney. Anyways. So yeah, Marge was killing me. Marge is an awful character.
Even other than the sweater scene, the scene before that, where then she starts laughing at the one of the other girls in the group, and then the head group was like looking at her and was like, "All right, isn't that funny? Fuck!" Being too much, like they're assholes, but then suddenly Marge is being too much of an asshole in their eyes, and it's like, you see what the fuck? You can't win. Why are you still trying?
Yeah, you cannot win with them. So the sooner she realizes that, the sooner I can give a crap about her character. Right now, she's so annoying.
But at the same time, in like a fucking realm where like people are putting fucking jars of pickles to fall out of your locker and shit like that, it's like this school sucks.
This town sucks. I hate it, Nathan. I hate it. Oh,
Derry sucks. Let me out.
Derry again, guys. Episode 2 just was draining for me. Because some random white guy makes a stink bomb, floats it down, and of
this
course,
teacher, by the way, for him, oh my god, because like the first time he's like, oh, I'm sorry, is this the right class? I got lost, I'm new here. And she's like, are you new to the concept of time? I'm like, oh bitch, instantly.
Nathan, oh man.
And then she's like, do it again and it'll reflect your grade. And I'm like, you're fucking grading fucking punctuality? Fuck off.
Yo. Like, if this was in high school, I guess you would have to be like Will, where you're gonna have to like. But no, I can't even say that, because if a teacher did that in like 2025 at a public school, the student's going off on the teacher. Kids don't give a crap these days, dog. Yeah. Kids don't give a crap. Like, if I tried to say that on like the first day of school to a student, I'm getting yelled at by a student. I got yelled at for less. So it's like, there's no way a teacher can be like, are you allergic to the concept of time? Oh man. I feel like
science facts I know. You don't like, there's so many worse people you could be putting this energy in, and you're not.
Right. I would have had to gone off on her. I would have had to. But then, like, I think part of me, like, personally, I would have been like, you know what? I would have kept in my mind. I'm like, you know what? This teacher, there's no winning against her. But yeah, he runs down the hall away from the stink bomb, and he gets the detention. I'm like, if it was me, why would I be running away from it? Like, anyways, it was very stupid.
It's a bomb, so
yeah. And he just looked at it. He was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Will, come on, Will."
Even me looking at, like, obviously it's like, I didn't know it was a stink bomb, and for all I knew, I was like, "That's an explosive." What?
He threw something, right? Yeah, he looks at it. He's just like, "What's
There's
going
a fuse on it."
And the other guy was like, "You should run now," and he dipped. It took Will like 5 seconds to be like, "Wait, what's going on? Let me slowly close my book." And I'm like,
I'll get more from that kid. More development on that kid. I like the dynamic they're setting up.
I like him a lot. By the way, when the cool kid group in Marge walked past and he was looking at them like lovey-dovey, was he looking at Marge or the girl behind Marge?
I think he's looking all-encompassing, and I think Marge is going to be the one that's actually going to pay him mind, and something will blossom there. That's how I engaged it. I also engaged that he was eating at his locker too because he's probably getting picked on for his ethnic food from his culture.
Is he Jewish?
I think he's Hispanic. I think he was eating an empanada.
Oh, Hispanic. Okay.
Yeah, I was. It also is like so crazy to think about American history where people were picking on like Jewish kids in school era, and it's like, but you're anti-Nazi. What are you doing?
But they're still immigrants, Nathan. They're still taking our jobs.
I don't like this world.
I don't like it. This is America.
Good song.
Very good song. Relevant. So yeah, Derry episode 2. Derry just sucks. Derry just sucks. Everybody here sucks. And yeah,
welcome to sucks.
I can't get over when Ronnie is yelling at Lily, going to her house. Where the F is Lily? That's me. I was livid. I was like, yo, I would have done the same shit. If my dad got arrested and I knew exactly why, I'm like, what did you say? It's like, well, I didn't say that. He was. I'm like, I would have pushed past him. I would have been popping off, dude. I'd have been going.
It sucks so bad too because like the only like truth is from both their points is like, oh, a fucking like demon attacked us. Yeah, and it's like you can't say that, especially if one of you is from a psych ward and the other is black.
Right? Yeah,
we have a town, that's enough.
We have a black girl and a psych ward patient. Our word is shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that
our
was
white friends got killed. This is very unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the other like credible people got killed.
God.
So yeah, but I did like what was blossoming between them. Like, you know, again, I like it whether it's in this show or like the It movies. When the kids come together, that's when I get locked in. So again, hopefully episode 3 they can get past it. I know it's started from a very rough patch. Like I kind of indirectly led to your dad getting thrown in prison. But to be fair, that dad was getting locked up either way. You know,
they were on his ass even before this event at the theater, right? They were trying to pin the original disappearance of Maddie on him.
So if it wasn't Lily, it was going to be something random. But either way, it ended up being Lily. So hopefully Lily and Ronnie can get together. I remember seeing a preview that they are working together, but I don't know if that's next week or later down the line. I don't know. But again, I think 8 episodes. But I like how each episode is like 55 minutes to an hour long. They're using their time well. Again, episode 2 for me personally, it just felt long because there was a lot of different storylines. But I think episode 2 at the end, all the storylines kind of came together. Hanlon and Halloran are kind of like at the military together now. You know, Lily and Ronnie are connected. Will's at the school now, so he's going to be connected with Ronnie, who they both met in detention. So the storylines are connecting. So hopefully, you know, they can smooth things out in the following episodes. What were you saying then?
Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
I saw Andy Muschietti directed both these episodes. Is he directing the whole season, or are there other directors that we know?
Episode 3 is Zack Snyder. Episode 4 is James Gunn. Episode 5 is Spielberg.
Deborah Chow. That's right.
6 is Deborah Chow. Yeah. And then episode 7 and 8 is Ryan Coogler. He's coming in there. It's crazy.
Evan, if that happens, holy shit!
I just named any director in mind.
Ryan Coogler handling Pennywise would be next level.
That would be amazing. But I have no idea. Usually for these projects, they do the first 2 episodes, kind of like how James Gunn, I think, did the premiere.
Sure.
Of Peacemaker. So I think we'll see different directors. Who knows? Maybe we get Bryce Dallas Howard to come in. Maybe she can direct an episode here and there.
Watch there be like a subtle hint of like, did you know that your DCU Batman has appeared in It? Welcome to Derry. And now everybody has to whittle down who the fuck's gonna be.
Yeah, who can it be?
Bill Skarsgård is.
But I tweeted out because Andy and Deborah, they said they wanted to do multiple seasons of this show. And they did say that like theoretically it would be like, I forget what time period this show is in. Is it the 40s or something like that? 50s?
60s.
60s. They said there might be different time periods, but I don't know if we'll stick with the same characters. Maybe we will. But I was like Andy should just
keep dialing back, like the clock,
or go backwards in the past. I'm not sure.
Because I think like next up would be like mid 30s, because it's a 27-year gap between each event. And Pennywise is dead as of the chapter 2, so you can't really go forward.
Yeah, you can't go forward. So hopefully, either way, there's going to be hopefully multiple seasons. Whether they go back in the past or they stick with this cast, we'll have to wait and see. But I tweeted out that I want Andy to stay here. I think he works well in the horror genre. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the It movies, I see that I can see that like under a TV show umbrella, he can cook more.
This is the best I've seen him handle this property.
Agreed. Totally agree completely. And I think the parts that I didn't love in the It movies was kind of like those horror aspects. I think the horror is done very well here. And the best part about the It movies are the relationships with the kids. And I can already see that being an intriguing part here. So
it's kind of interesting. I really can't judge wholeheartedly his effects on the Flash because it was such a muddy production with so many creatives that I'm like, he probably was just like, here's every cliff note, make it work, and stay buddies with the studio, which he can do. And it's like, and then we'll let you do shit with it like you really want. Well, I'm sure he wants to. Like, he's attached to Batman. I believe he wants to do that. But like with how sentimental he got with the It films, especially what I saw in chapter 2, I feel like my highlights from the Flash, which is the sentimental stuff between Barry and his mom, I feel like he's good at that. So like, not to say he can't like jump out of horror. I think it's just depends on like the smoothness of a production and what he can bring to it.
100%. I think you're right on the money there. I just feel like Yeah, go ahead.
I would say like I haven't seen Mama, which I think is his first film, but yeah, that was a sleeper hit starter for him in the horror genre, which is how he got it. And the fact that has gotten even better in what we've seen showcased in this show shows that like he definitely has a knack for horror, and I think he's found his footing very well, especially on a larger scale, kind of larger property, that is.
I agree. And if WB, HBO, if they want to fast track subsequent series with Andy at the helm, he won't have time for Brave and the Bold, which is going to be a huge undertaking. Which again, it just goes into my thinking that like he might step away from Brave and the Bold. But everything we're saying is stuff that like is already in the process because the show has been complete. So his schedule kind of is open to do Brave and the Bold. But I think right, like given the reception, given how much high the ratings and the viewership is for it, they might want to fast track a sequel series, which would then lessen his time on Batman. I just think
I am surprised. I am surprised at the idea of like we're on the chapter 1 of DC Gods and Monsters, and it's like you didn't give the man monsters, you gave him Batman. I would have expected him to jump on Clayface or Swamp Thing.
Good point.
If he was presented these things, but I guess like he played ball well during Flash, and he handled 2 Batmen in some dynamic fights. But like character-wise, it was a whole other story. I don't think it's his fault. And he was, I think, one of 7 writers on the Flash by the end. So
yeah, Flash again. It was a hodgepodge of chaos, and he was just the last person whose name was on the movie. But yeah, that's it. Welcome to Derry. I'm excited to see what episode 3 does. Episode 3 comes out next Sunday, so we'll be back here Monday or Tuesday next week going over it. That'd be fun. Would you be good for like a day right after review, or do you want a day to?
I think I could do. Yeah, Mondays. I'm pretty open, so yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm good here too. So let's go into the other subject. We're nearly 2 hours in, which is crazy. Godzilla minus zero. Godzilla, I think I can speak for both of us. We're not the biggest fans. We think it's okay. It's decent. We much prefer, Jaws and sharks to Godzilla, but we can rock with this, right?
Yeah, I've always been more of a Gamera man myself.
Yeah. Okay. I'm obviously kidding. For any first time viewers here who lasted this long in the podcast, Nathan is a Godzilla fanatic. I think we're comfortable using that word.
Yeah.
I have not watched a lot of them. I watched the modern movies. The best one is obviously 1998 Godzilla.
It's a good monster movie, but a bad Godzilla. That which is true. Technically speaking, is true because I think it is a fun monster movie. It just is not Godzilla, and it's canonically been made to not be. But yeah,
I mean that was like. I was gonna say like that was the first like Godzilla property that I grew up with. Like my mom was a huge Matthew Broderick fan. I grew up watching those movies all the time. Come to like the modern era, realizing people didn't like that movie. I'm like, oh wow, people don't like this movie. But I can see why. I can see why because it's not like Godzilla at all.
So are other than that, are your only experiences really like all of the MonsterVerse, the 1954 Shin Godzilla and -1?
Exactly. Yeah. That's all I got. Yeah.
Missing a lot of eras.
I mean, I guess I didn't watch the ones from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I guess that's a lot of eras.
2000s.
What was in the 2000s?
There's a number of them. There's Godzilla 2000 versus Mechagyros, Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Attack. It's a long title. We call it GMK. Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla, Godzilla Tokyo SOS, and Godzilla Final Wars. They released a movie from 1999 to 2004, one a year. And they're all bangers.
Wow. How many movies have I missed? Can we commentary this shit?
The original count from like in 54 to even including 98 to the 2004 Final Wars run of like all 50 years of Godzilla was I think 28 films. Pre Shin Godzilla MonsterVerse, yeah.
So we can't do a commentary.
We can because they are broken into eras. There's the Showa era, which runs from 54 to 75. That's 15 films. The Heisei series, which is significantly less, that runs from about 1985 to 94, I think. And then they picked up 1999, a year after the American Godzilla, to 2004. And then we're caught up with the modern, current era. I forget what the title is for this era of Godzilla, which is Shin Godzilla Onward. So -1 and whatnot.
Did they not have a Godzilla movie from 2004 to 2014?
No, there's nothing there until you hit the MonsterVerse iteration.
There's a 10-year gap?
Yeah, because it was effectively like they tend to like hit a stride where like they make a bunch of films and it's like, okay, here's a pseudo finale. We're gonna put them to rest, and if we ever decide to pick them up again, we will do so. The Heisei series ended up doing that in '85 to the final one, which was a official like death of Godzilla. It's a big like news headline. That's the same way like Death of Superman was, and then it was like, okay, America wants to try their hand. Here we go, 98. And then Roland Emmerich was who they tapped for it, was so like, I want to change everything about Godzilla, that Toho was like, oh, like they were presented the final product and it was like, oh, that's not him at all. And so they were like, let's make some more in our own wheelhouse. And then they did that from like the year after 99 to 2004. And then Final Wars was like a big 50th anniversary celebration. It featured like every monster they've ever done in it, in like a very like battle royale style finisher for the series. And then 50th anniversary, went to sleep, 10-year sleep. America tried their hand again, but Toho was like, keep an eye on this, and it was pretty approved, and the MonsterVerse has been successfully doing so. But at the same time, 2 years after, they did Shin Godzilla and was like, okay, we want to get in our stride of doing it again. And Shin Godzilla was up for like the best movie in Japan for that year. I think so was -1, because Shin Godzilla has social commentary of the political landscape of Japan.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla is a 5 out of 5 incredible movie. I love Shin Godzilla. I own it now on YouTube at least. But yeah, and then I also own -1, which is not only one of the best movies. I forget where I put -1 in my 2023 ranking.
I'm pretty sure.
2023 was.
Oh no, we lost him. 2023 was what? We'll never know. I'll be right back, guys. Meanwhile, let me look at my 2023 ranking. I'm pretty sure it's in my top 3, if not 5. I made a lot of lists in my time. 2023, bam. Was it 23? Maybe it was 20. No, yeah, it would have been 2023. Why don't I have -1 in here? What? He's back. Maybe. He's back.
Yeah, what I was saying there was Godzilla is my number 5 movie 2020. Across the Spider-Verse is number 1, and then Oppenheimer, Past Lives, and Suzume. And then I have Godzilla -1. That was a great year.
I got scared for a second because I was looking at a 2023 list. I was like, where is it? It was my most anticipated 2023 list, not the last. Because I was like, I didn't watch Megan. Why is this here? I still need to see it. It was at the bottom. -1 was my number 3 of 2023, right behind number 2, Across the Spider-Verse, and number 1, Past Lives.
Yeah, Past Lives, peak. If you have not watched Past Lives, go watch that. You know, I always think Greta Lee was nominated for Best Actress, but she was snubbed. Like, that's crazy. That's insane.
That was like the breakout role, like
right,
for like main stardom for her.
Yeah. But okay, this is super exciting. So we're here today because -0 was officially announced. Was the title always? I thought we always knew the title was -0. But was it leaked? Did we talk about it?
I didn't hear this. I had only.
I thought we talked about -0.
I feel like we've only ever talked about like there are plans to make a sequel to Godzilla -1, but like we could only like really speculate like where they could go from here, and like just based off of my knowledge of how Godzilla movies have worked. Of like
title wise, we never said -0 at all.
No, and honestly, it's very like I didn't expect it to be like an uptick of where we're at, because especially with like the little bit of details we got about the project last night.
Yeah. So let's go into that. So first of all, -0 is an excellent title. For some reason, in the recesses of my mind, I thought I heard about the title beforehand, whether it was leak, rumor, talking to Nathan.
Are you just thinking about like -1 color?
No. I remember hearing the word 0. Like I remember being like, I was going to tweet out like, "Oh, it's confirmed," but I swear to God, maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe it's just like ultimate deja vu. But maybe either way,
like a Godzilla 0-hour anime or something. Maybe there's the anime Godzilla Singular Point, which I think may also go by 0 point sometimes.
But so there was a couple things though that released along with the title. Do you have that information on hand?
I might have bookmarked it. Let me.
Me too. I think I did.
Triple check.
I did not bookmark it. Fuck.
All right, here is where I'm the true. If I'm a true fan, I gotta get past my Ben Solo savings. Different things. By the way, linked in the description. Hunt for Ben Solo and Acolyte support. Both links at the top of the description.
Oh, so
I got it.
Okay, you got it. Okay, cool. Yeah. At the same at the same tweet.
Is it from Kaiju number 14?
Of course.
Right on. Yes, everything new reported on the Godzilla -1 sequel so far. It's titled Godzilla -0, will be darker and larger scale. I don't know if my heart could take it, Evan.
Larger,
Features,
real quick, let's go bullet
yeah,
point by bullet point
sure.
here. Darker, that gets me worried. I love my found family. She
I'm
has,
scared about that last shot. Yeah.
yeah, she has that connection to Godzilla.
Yeah.
And again, this was born because of her. Sort of, like, how did this come about again?
I think just the exposure from the fallout of Godzilla's atomic breath that leveled the city, for the name of the city, and she was like the sole survivor of that because it was presumed everybody died who was there, other than our boy Shishima,
Yeah.
but he was the only one pushed into cover. Everybody else was out in the open. She was also in the open, but she pulled through even though she had some bandaging. But I guess in that exposed wound, because there was also like ash raining from the effects of the fallout, and maybe that's what infected her injuries. It's a guess.
Ooh, you know what would be a killer opening to this movie? Would be flashing back to seeing her awaken to like the destruction of that nuclear blast. Like, and we see like the ash fall on her like unconscious body, and we see the mark on her neck originate as she's like, maybe as she's like discovered, people are like, oh, she's alive. Like we can see that like that thing originate on her neck, unbeknownst to everybody. Because of just like
the city.
Yeah, I think it was. But yeah, when I see her darker, I just think like destruction and like the effects it'll have on our found family. Larger scale though, like is this going to be multiple islands, multiple settings here? I'm curious.
I don't know. This could also play. There's some things theorized, which I think I'll get into after the points. But the idea of like maybe there's another monster.
Okay. But go on.
It's going to feature CGI, miniatures, and suitmation. It's very exciting.
Can you go into what does suitmation mean if people are unfamiliar with that word?
Effectively, it's the classic thing you think of every like pre-modern Godzilla film. It's the rubber suit, the guy in the rubber suit who's on set of miniatures, destroying the cities, going up against other monsters, and is, simultaneously being puppeteered through like the mechanics in the suit to control the jaw whenever Godzilla needs to roar. Some people who are like puppeteering the tail to move it, but otherwise the physical actor that's in the rubber suit that gets very hot and is committing 110% to the blocking and the attacks that the script calls for. Very, very intensive labor that I think I think has bigger respect today, but I'm sure like a lot of people grew up, it's just like, oh, those silly bad dubbed rubber suit thing. And it's like the commitment to get those shots and get them right, especially like the second era that they did through the 80s and 90s is some of my favorite. They're like all summation is really cool post 70s that they've done, but like a lot of the lighting and framing that they've done for the shots they get of those suits that are so detailed now are gorgeous. They really are. Like they look phenomenal. Like you really don't need CG because you're just like, yeah, there's a functioning puppet suit and it just works.
Yeah, so again, when was the last time this was used like in the modern era? It's been a while.
Like per on screen, it really comes down to 2004's Final Wars, with every monster was a rubber suit. Per se, the occasional CG shot that needs for like quick like flight or like water sequences on occasion, things like that for a swim shot. But majority of that movie is the rubber suits. Now, with Shin Godzilla, they made a functioning rubber suit, but ended up replacing the entirety of it with the CG model. But the suit itself, which was heavy in its animatronic as well, which looks amazing, you can find footage of it, was perfectly used for physical reference around sets and lighting, so that when they translated the CG model, it looked phenomenal. And the MonsterVerse has done a few things in regards to Godzilla, and I think King Ghidorah as well, back in like King of the Monsters when they did the mocap performances for the monsters. The same with Kong Skull Island as well. Toby Kebbell played Kong in the mocap for that one.
Gotcha. So that's very exciting. I'm very curious. Then, if you're saying it's been like 20 plus years, I'm curious to see how the director, was it Tamazaki? I'm gonna get his name right. Takashi Yamazaki. First of all, what if he's gonna be the one in the suit? That'd be very funny.
At the very least, the reason -1 won in the Oscar, won for the best visual effects, is because a number of things. He comes from a VFX background, so he knows how things are supposed to look. He has the eye for placing it in the scenes he's physically filming, which was a big thing on like the original like Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. Gore Verbinski came from VFX of Lucasfilm. That's actually a big thing in like the season 2 of Light and Magic. Really good doc. These directors who come from VFX backgrounds know how to implement it because they spent painstaking hours crafting them and creating the methods to bring them to life. So when you reach something like this, they know how to implement it. And for the budget, right? That was a big thing. It's like a $15 million budget or less for -1. Amazing profits, and they were able to do that VFX level and frame it so perfectly well. And so I very much can see the idea of Takashi diving into suitimation, if they're bringing it back to the level of like people in suits. I believe he knows how to place it, and I think he probably knows like if he can commission the budget to get those suits on set, he knows how to make them look good enough to be realistic. They'll probably have some CG enhancements here and there. They always do, the glowing scales and whatnot, but it also becomes a lot more cost effective. A lot of people like it used to be the case of like it's cheaper to do it in CG back when the digital age was kicking up, but I think now instead of like making all these shots for shots, if you just have the suit ready to go and you have it stable, and especially if you're potentially going to have a couple monsters going at it, to just like get those quick shots of like punches and kicks and whatnot going, like clashing and whatnot, you can just like bam, you got it.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so like promising, and you can definitely tell this is going to be even more unique than the first go round. But yeah, like what we were saying earlier, that's what made the news headlines about the budget and the initial reaction when the visual effects team got their Oscar nomination. When you saw the group of like just 8 or so people like crowded around a table, like it took that small team to create one of the most visually appealing movies of this decade in general. It just made for a very great win. Like I'm already like whatever VFX heavy movies coming out next year, good luck winning that Oscar with -0 coming around, because it's like that team is just going to probably go around for their second Oscar in a row, because I have a feeling this is going to look even better with probably a bigger budget now with them behind it. So I'm very curious to see what goes on there. But what was the next bullet point?
We'll be filming in New Zealand and Norway soon.
Okay, so we're going to the Shire. Great.
Right on. I mean, just like landscape-wise, that sounds phenomenal. I mean, obviously they're going to be doing like a Rural Japan in that area if it's a direct sequel with a returning cast, which I imagine you would want to do because across the board, a wonderful human cast, the best human cast you've gotten from any Godzilla movie in 70 years.
Easily, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
So I wonder if like these like New Zealand, especially, and Norway for sure, have such vast landscapes of greenery and snowy settings that if they're going to implement those both in the cast, I don't know if it's a sprawling adventure, but also the idea of like putting the monsters in these environments sounds beautiful.
It does. I do wonder if the cast is going to get any larger. Just do the more than me. Does the Godzilla film from any of the eras? Do they? It's very Japanese focused, obviously, But like,
Yeah.
do they introduce any American actors in any of the Toho movies at all?
On occasion, I like Final Wars has a American actor who is a supporting role pretty heavily. I believe he's one of the actors from like some like GI Joe properties, like some voice work. But like he's also, I think he was a wrestler at the time. I'd have to triple check, but yeah, it's pretty rare. Like, yeah, on occasion you'll like flash over to America and you get like some people. Usually, like when it was like the original like 60s, 70s stuff, or in 50s as well, they would do American recuts. So they would like take like the core bits of the monster story, but then like distill it with, you know, American military fill-ins or like reporters and whatnot for like interluding plots to connect the threads through, so you didn't have to constantly like have translated Japanese people. Yeah, it's very problematic in that sense, but or if you're changing the fucking story, you're making the American version of these things. But that was a big thing too, especially in like that was a whole thing with the King Kong versus Godzilla, the original, which was the third ever Godzilla movie. Crazy enough, it was pretty like half Japanese, half American, because America had a Kong problem and they sent him away over toward Japan and ran into Godzilla, shit like that. But it doesn't happen often, right? But it's definitely possible. There's even like a quick blip in -1 where they're getting radio reports of the trajectory of Godzilla changing from a certain position heading toward Ginza, and that has to be subtitled for Japanese viewers watching.
True.
Not uncommon. So there could be greater implementation because we're going to be post World War II, but I don't know where we'll be headed for like the setting of Japan in history.
Exactly. That's where I was going, because like we're getting post World War II and we're going to Norway and other countries. I'm just curious about like if the cast was going to be more international this time around. But we'll see. But yeah, in the last one, the release date.
Yeah, Toho is planning a late 2026 global release. Now, when -1 came out here in the States, it was like the first week of November. So that would track similarly if it's around the same spotlight.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the first week in November is looking pretty damn empty next year. So that'd be a very strong release date. Granted, it comes out in Japan first, so it could be like a October release in Japan and a November release in the States. I forget the time lapse between when it came out in Japan versus America.
I'm not sure on like the exact, but there used to be like a big problem with like international releases. On both sides, right? Is like when like America would get like the big blockbusters, and then Japan wouldn't get it for like 2 to 3 months, which is crazy. And then like vice versa, Japan would have their drops first, like locally, and then America wouldn't get it for quite a bit of months. So, but I think like since then, time has been like letting them exist pretty quickly with one another. Like I think usually like if it's from Japan, it'll be in Japan first, but it won't be that long before the States get it, and then vice versa.
Yeah, so the official release was in November 3rd in Japan.
Okay.
And
That's
then
I feel like.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to find when was the US release. It dethroned it. Where's the United States? After grossing blah blah in Japan. Let's see. Oh, there it is. December 1st became the first wide theatrical release in Japan in the US. So it came out like in LA on November 10th, like on this big premiere at the GGA Theater, but then it got a wide release on December 1st.
I wonder that makes me wonder if I like maybe like it was an early access thing, like exclusive when I saw it, because I swear I saw it in November.
Me too.
And because I'd also remember it did come back, and it was like playing bigger in like IMAX and whatnot. So depends, I guess.
Yeah, it would debut in Japan on November 3rd and in theaters US nationwide on December 1st.
Maybe I went November 30th. Maybe I'm just like tricking my brain.
Yeah, maybe it went like the end of November. That's why.
I think that was the case too. And I got lucky enough that that I was able to go to like its first day because my theater was primarily playing it in standard, but that first like night was playing in Dolby, and it was the only day it was doing it. And I was like, it had 2 showings, and I'm like, I'm going to both. I walked out of the first one. I was like,
peak.
I was like, holy, is that the best Godzilla movie I ever saw? Recency bias is a hell of a drug. So let me head in. And I walked out. I was like, nope, it is.
And next, unfortunately, next December is like it would be sandwiched between Narnia and Avengers Doomsday, which is just not great in terms of like IMAX screenings. But again, Godzilla came out like 2023. I forget what the December was looking like in 2023. It was it was weak. It was Aquaman, the Iron Claw, The Color Purple, Wonka. So it was able to just stay around for a very long time. But yeah, whenever it happens, it's not going to have like the widest release. But remember, it stayed in U.S. theaters for a long time, for at least like 2 months longer than we thought. Like it got re-released and re-released.
Yeah, and I know these aren't live action, but if the recent successes of anime theatrical runs for movies have proven anything, like the audience is there consistently.
Yeah, like it. It's gonna make for a huge opening weekend. Like the hype for this on Twitter last night, holy shit! Like it was. Huge.
I can't believe I was 2 hours late to this. By the way, like I remember you sharing something, but like I totally lost it in my brain. I was hanging out with family, and I came to sit down in my room, and then I'm just like scrolling. I'm like, 2 hours of Godzilla. Fucking opened the. Like it was the Japanese account tweeted, and I was like, "What? Hello, 70th? What? What do we got? Fuck!" Oh man,
yeah.
There was a Godzilla like a live stream going on the Japanese channel as well. I was like, "Did I miss the fucking? Was there a panel?" I'm scrolling through it. I'm like, "What happened?"
Yeah, I think it was a short live stream, but I didn't watch that one either. I just watched like Twitter reports of the live stream. But yeah, that review, the -0 reveal, the score is just like, we're so back. It's so good. It's so dark. It sounds dark and epic. And I'm like, give it to me. Give it all to me.
It's amazing what they were able to do with the score because, like, effectively, it is the same theme they've had since 1954 that they've used all 70 years for every iteration of Godzilla. But they always find a way to put a spin on it. And my God, the spin on the -1 score is immaculate. My most recent rewatch of -1 was on. I took a trip to Jersey. I was on an airplane, and it still hit. It still hit just as much, especially because Evan. It was so unsettling to watch the finale with the plane while I had the worst turbulence I've ever experienced.
Oh no!
I didn't pay for 40x, but I got it, and I was scared as fuck. I was like, there was like a 10%. That's a high percentage in me to be like, this plane might go down. Like
that's crazy.
I'm kind of scared. But I'm gonna keep watch. I'm like tearing up. That's also quite embarrassing to be sandwiched between 2 people while I'm doing that. And I'm just like, I hope I'm not breathing loud in my head.
They're like, "Are you okay, boy? Are you okay, man?"
Yeah.
That's so funny. But
guy next to me simultaneously was watching Oppenheimer, and I was like, "This is wild."
Great double feature. But yeah, next year we have Narnia coming out November 26th, Doomsday coming out December 18th, and Dune for now coming out December 18th. Jumanji is December 11th. So December 2026 in general is a very crowded year for blockbusters. But I'm happy that it's coming out as soon as late next year. I have confidence that Takashi got all the time he needed for this one, and I'm very excited. But before we leave, where do we think the story is going to go for this movie?
That is an interesting question. So there's, for the record, the official -1 logo is the G is a little bit different from this. This is the -1G. There's a slight difference in the -0 G, in which like that little like front clef on the far right is like indented, because it's clear like this shape of the G is supposed to be the shape of Godzilla, like with the dorsal spines and the tail. I believe it's in reflection to Godzilla got his head blown off in the ending of -1, so I think it's self-reflective of that and where it's carrying through. And from what we saw teeing up at the end, other than Moriko's infection on her neck, a piece of Godzilla is regenerating, which is the first time I've ever seen a Godzilla be able to do this, to physically regenerate his form, especially to such a small level. And also, granted, we just saw like an amalgamation of muscle growing. We didn't see what it was ultimately becoming. He may have a whole different design, a like far more menacing demeanor. This could be a whole new monster. Maybe I hate to think what's going to happen to Morika, but if she ends up changing in some way, in like a body horror element, which I don't want to happen, I really don't want to happen, but at the same time, it might, which is so depressing. But you never know. You never know where this is going to happen. There has been speculation, high assumption that there will be a second monster, and speculation of what that monster will be. It's my favorite game to play every Godzilla project. Yeah. A lot of fans are pining for Anguirus, who is the first. He's like a spike-shelled armadillo.
Okay, I think we have talked about that one in the past.
Yeah, he is yet to appear in the MonsterVerse. Who his, along with like Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah, he's like up there of like those top monsters that have association with Godzilla. He is the first ever monster Godzilla fought in his sequel, Godzilla Raids Again. So people have been maybe speculating if we're kind of like doing a like unofficial swapped remake of the original Showa era of Godzilla to what if this could be like a mirroring of Raids Again. That maybe Anguirus could pop up. I want Anguirus too. I primarily want Anguirus in the MonsterVerse because I think you could have the most fun with his features and stylized fighting skills.
Yeah, you can get more goofy in the MonsterVerse for sure.
Yeah, and they get goofy plenty in like some of like the later things. I mean, he rolls up in a ball and spins around like fucking. It's silly, but it's cool, especially with what the MonsterVerse could do if they decide to. Other people speculate.
Teams seem to be going like a more serious route.
Yes, and I've seen speculation and I've talked about this before. They might be doing Hedorah, aka the smog monster. It's like this like slimy creature with like two big eyes that is like the embodiment of pollution of the planet. It takes on a couple different forms. There's like a physical standing form. There's like almost like a cloud shaped flying form, which could be really interesting to do in a modern tale. Some people have speculated maybe they could be doing Hedorah because if you look at like the 0.0 in the title, it kind of looks like the big eyes of Hedorah from the original design. If we're like looking deep into it.
Which one is Hedorah?
Let me see if I can pull up a picture real quick. I don't know if you'll see it over here. Hedorah is it's like this like smog monster creature.
Oh yeah, that's definitely visible. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like it's two forms, and it's kind of like
disgusting. Oh, so you're seeing that could be related to
like the the two O's could be like related to like the eyes that it presents. Maybe because because you could definitely like write a plot of like whenever Godzilla used the atomic breath and how it creates that like nuclear implosion and that acid rain fallout, that ash fallout. It could be negatively affecting the atmosphere and the ozone and whatnot, and the air quality of our planet, and could be indirectly birthing that. Especially this wouldn't be the first time either. This idea, there's been instances where Godzilla has been damaged in battle and like his cells compared with some other bit of science, mutates into a monster. It's happened with such as a creature like Biollante, who's made primarily of plant DNA, but that mixed with Godzilla cells and became this creature. Also, the concept of a space Godzilla, which MonsterVerse might be doing in Supernova, maybe, where Godzilla cells are spread into space and mixed with some black hole vortex. Silly science shit to get the silly sci-fi movie rolling. But from like a serious angle of like there is spread DNA from an exploded Godzilla after -1. If you mix it with like if he has been polluting the air quality, you can mix it together and you can make this smog monster. It's totally possible.
For sure. I mean, both all those ideas, smog monster, the spiky armadillo-like creature, that sounds fantastic. Like I love those ideas so much. I do wonder, with those questions comes the other question: does Godzilla become an anti-hero in this sequel, or are we going to keep him as a destructive force of nature? Because he was monstrous in this first feature here in -1.
There's always it always depends on the specific plot. I mean, in the first like Godzilla raids again, both monsters are considered bad for us, for humanity. So it could be that Alien Predator tagline, whoever wins, we lose.
I do like that. Yeah.
That was a good one. But yeah, it depends. There is also the factor that we don't know where Godzilla came from. He's already like a dinosaur monster from the depths. Like it even pre-nuclear mutation and like this giant powerful form that he is, when he's attacking on Odo Island, he's already having the effects of coming up from the depths and like the deep sea fish coming up and like popping out because they were submerged so fast. So it's already a being from the depths. There's totally a possibility that something else could be down there. They have done a couple of aquatic monsters before. Like Ebora is like a giant like lobster type kaiju. They could do that. They could make a whole new monster. Again, that's something that's even per like reboot series, you tend to get at least one monster, if not 2 or 3, that are like wholly original to that era, who may only ever appear in that one entry, or they are popular enough that they spin off into coming back in a new iteration again. It depends on the reception of the monster itself, but time will tell what happens there. That's kind of like been an interesting balance with the monster versus like a lot of times it's like we can't get the Toho rights for something, so we'll make our original thing. But then sometimes we can, so like we got a Mothra, we got a Rodan, play the hits. Depends.
Yeah. Okay. I'm super excited to see -0. Again, it's coming faster than I realized. I thought for sure this would be like a 2027 kind of movie. But it's insane that it came out in 2023. Has it been 2 years already? Like that's nuts.
Wow. It wasn't Best Picture nommed either, which
it was just a 2023 was a great year for movies. Though I think I like the Best Picture lineup there. But yeah, it would have been in my Best Picture lineup for sure. So would Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse would have been a lock for me.
Did it get an international nom, like international feature?
I think it was just visual effects.
Yeah,
I want to look up the 2023 international.
At least I won that
movies. I think that one Holocaust movie won that year. Zone of Interest, or no. It says All Quiet on the Western Front, or I guess it's just look up 2024.
Yeah, following.
Let me see. Yeah, Zone of Interest won this year. Other nominated films were Japan nominated The Perfect Days movie, which I never saw, but I heard that was good. But yeah, Zone of Interest won that year, which was a great movie, just a very uncomfortable movie. But yeah, maybe -0 could get a Best International Feature. That would be based. That would be incredible. But Japan also has has a plethora of great movies outside of their MonsterVerse movies. That are really
That's true. You think we'll get a Godfather 2 effect on this?
In terms of like appeal.
The Empire Strikes Back effect.
I think it could. It definitely has that anticipation level. Like I think the box office is going to be even bigger than what it was for -1. This has a chance to be like the highest grossing Godzilla film ever, which I don't know what the box office history of the franchise is, but like this could be like super huge. Again, like you said, coming off of like Demon Slayer breaking records, 675 million. Chainsaw Man getting up to like 50 million. So it's like these movies are breaking records in Japan and overseas, and I'm loving it. Again, I just looked at the tweet, like the Discussing Film account. It's at like 98,000 likes. Over millions of interactions with just the video. So people are hyped. People are ready. I'm very like this shot up to like one of my top 3 most anticipated movies of next year. But to end the podcast, Nathan, I'm gonna have to put a gun to your head.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know if we're thinking about the same thing.
If you're going to a theater and they said, gun to your head, you can only see one movie, Doomsday or Godzilla -0. What are you doing?
Why are you doing this to me? I thought you were gonna be like, Nathan, gun to your head. We have to talk about Scream 7.
Oh no.
Which I will. I said my piece on Twitter.
It looks bad.
A little bit. Which is like it's coming from me. Like there was like one cool shot where the girl's falling from the chandelier onto like you twist over to put the knife. Like, that's cool.
That was cool.
And I'm like, we're back in the small town, and like I found you, Sydney. And I was like, I can't do this again. I don't care how much screen time Matthew Lillard has. I love the man. I love Stu Macher. You can't get me on that alone.
Yeah. Quick Scream 7 rant, but don't forget my question, motherfucker. But I think Scream 7 is just. I was like, you know what? And I tweeted out, like, I'm biased against the movie already. So that's in my brain chemistry. I'm already not looking forward to seeing it if I'm seeing it at all. But we're back in Woodsboro. Bad idea. We can't keep going back there. We can't. And then
every day I wake
up. We're back in Woodsboro. We're back in the same house. The plot line looks very similar. Like, the mother-daughter horror storyline. It's like, okay. And then Sydney's back again. And it's just like, oh, man, this is just – there's nothing appealing. The last one, like, we're actually out of Woodsboro. We're in New York. I get why Scream 5 had to go back there because it was like a reboot. It's been like 10 years. But at least that was Scream 5. It was a new cast at Woodsboro.
Yeah. There's always the meta-narrative that functions as the basis. And obviously, they're gonna plug in a line for this of just like, the killers run out of ideas, so it's going back to the well. Which originally, whenever Scream would do that, it kind of makes the criticism bulletproof because that's the point. But like you've tapped the well one too many times.
Yep. Yeah. Like we already had to because a lot of the tropes from Scream 7 we've kind of already done before. Whether it's like, we're going back to Woodsboro, like that was Scream 5 or Scream 4. Scream 4 was already back in Woodsboro too.
All of them.
So it's like, okay, but at least 3 had the movie set. 2 was in college, so it wasn't like really back in like that community area.
Yeah, at least like it felt like if we were all in Woodsboro, it was expansive because we weren't in the original house.
Exactly, we weren't in the original house. Like,
I think the original house is more of a cold open for this, unless they fucking have Stu Macher live in there.
But either way, we're in the same neighborhood again. So it's like it's giving Scream 5, but with the same cast from decades ago with Courtney Cox and.
It also threw me for a loop because, like, Sydney has like a full-grown daughter, but when I saw her in Scream 5, she was like pushing a stroller. So I was like, "What the fuck?" Which is impossible, but I'm like, that's odd.
I was confused about that too. Like, did she not have a daughter in Scream 4? Am I going crazy? Or...
No, she had her is that her niece or cousin? What's her name? The star.
Jill was her cousin, or Jill was her niece, or something.
Roberts.
What?
Julia Roberts' niece in real life.
Emma Roberts, right?
Emma Roberts. Yeah, she's like in the movie is like her niece or her cousin. She's like they're related.
That's what I said. Yeah, I think Jill was like her niece or something, and that was a big plot line. So Scream 4 already had like the family, like the whole premise about that, even with the Ghostface stuff, was all about like family. But then in Scream 5, it was all about like different side. I don't want to spoil movies here, but like all the Scream movies, like the family trip's been done before. The Welcome Back to Woodsboro, like we're back at you again, Sydney, it's been done before. So it's like, what are
Yeah.
you offering to me? And it just doesn't look stylistically, it doesn't look that unique or fun.
Yeah, and I know it's like messy behind the scenes, but like as weird as it feels, the fact that they do have two of the core four, like the siblings, I'm like, well, at least there is like a thread of connection, and you're not totally wiping away, but like you're just gonna like write them off of the line, the Carpenter sisters, but that was like the strongest. And it's like, yes, I wanted to see Matthew Lillard because I love Matthew Lillard, but like you had a bulletproof thing of having Skeet Ulrich return as Billy Loomis haunting Sam in like a psychosis way, so it made sense for him to be around, and he can look older, it doesn't matter, it's just like an interpretation of the brain. But like he's just as well a great compelling actor in the series and as a Ghostface, so like that would have been great to find the Descent versus like they're gonna have Matthew Lillard back for like probably just this one and kill him for real.
100%. Yeah. So
I'm happy for him that he is able to do this, and that he probably got paid a shit ton. I'm sure they all did, because they were like, let's push the nostalgia.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I love Marvel. I'm a shill for nostalgia for sure. But I also find the core of the story, even where others don't. But this one, I don't see it. It doesn't.
I don't see it either. Yeah.
To your question though, I would go see Doomsday. It's a personal thing for me. It's just I want to see the Avengers together, especially the new ones with like older ones.
Yeah.
And it's been 8 years, and like I will see more Godzilla on the big screen. I continuously will. I got to see -1 on the big screen a few times. I saw it twice in Dolby. I got to go to the minus color, which I had a bad theater bulb, so it was more like minus everything but slight blue tint on the black and white.
Yeah, I think I saw it once in color and then once in -0.
-1.
-1. My minus color.
-E. That's what it says.
So that was very cool. But yeah, I think I would go. It's hard because I miss Shang-Chi. But
yeah.
I miss Shang-Chi.
Miss Marvel.
And Miss Marvel.
A third person.
I don't even know if Miss Marvel is going to be in the fucking movie, like as a main character or not.
Something there. Florence Pugh,
though. That's going to compel me.
Spider-Man.
But either way, I'm seeing Doom. I'm seeing Doom Messiah before either of these movies, if they come out at the same time. I doubt it. But imagine going to the movie theater and you get to see Dune, Avengers, and Godzilla.
I don't think modern audiences are built for it. I'm built for the triple feature. They're not.
Yeah, they're not ready for that.
They're see one, be like, all right, maybe I'll catch another one.
Exactly. But yeah, that might be it, Nathan. Holy shit. How do we do this? How do we keep doing this? How does it happen?
It's time for the Marvel rumors, Evan.
Stop it.
There's
Are there any Marvel rumors?
There's one about the teaser coming up that I think they're deciding of whether or not they're going to showcase Stephen Peggy in the marketing for the teaser.
Stephen Peggy?
Yeah, because I think a scene was filmed like where people were able to spot it, where I think Loki visits the moment of Stephen Peggy.
Don't do that.
I don't know if it's their dance. I think it's just like Steve has been living there peacefully. Oh man. One last ride ever. It's already that movie.
Let's get about Doomsday.
And then they're gonna give you a Shang-Chi scene. You're like, oh, you're right.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm easy that way.
Shang-Chi talk about working with the X-Men. So there's that. So yeah, I think I also had heard like they're actually going to be pretty heavy on Doom's feature in the teasers, which I was on the inverse of that, of like what they would showcase to kind of like sow the seeds of like, we know you want to see them, and like we're gonna pull you along through for the next year of marketing. But see what happens.
Yeah, remember I was the opposite. I said that they're going to show us, if there's anything to show us, it is Doomsday. We kind of already saw the back of him. But yeah, the biggest rumor of the week was that it would be a little bit more than just a teaser reveal of Doomsday, why he needs his armor. I doubt they'll give us that much. But lots of footage.
I think I did hear a rumor about the armor. I thought I did. I think it might have been. I don't know if it was a specifically affected the multiverse or what have you, of like something with like magic. But I think like the armor is like almost like a life support thing. Like his whole body is scarred and needs it. I'm unsure. I'd have to recheck that.
That'd be cool. I mean, if it keeps him in the mask and not just like RDJ, that'd be beneficial to me.
Sure.
Dr. Doom is described as a classic universal monster. Fuck off.
I like that description. That got my ears perking because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It's not cool. Where there's delusion, there is hope. All right.
It's giving. Civil War was like 7, and it's like.
Who said that? Who the fuck said that? Who the fuck said Civil War was like 7? That's not even physically. That the biggest hurdle you have to jump through, even if you haven't seen it. It's like nothing indicates that. What do you? Did you make that up?
No, I did not. Marvel Civil War 7. I'm gonna look for the quote.
You would have had me more if you were like, this is the Empire Strikes Back of the series. That's everyone's favorite.
I can't. It's backwards.
Name like, 7 and The Godfather as influences on new Captain America film. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I would never get over it. It was too funny.
What scene of 7 is a scene in Civil War? Do you think?
The movie we've been referencing a lot with this one is 7. Weirdly enough, we're 7.
Is it the one scene where
Fargo,
Dino's drowning the guy upside down?
I think he says he's just juggling a lot of characters. I'm like, what does that have to do with 7?
That's it. That could be any movie, sir.
Yeah.
But
anyways.
As a classic Universal monster, if that is like something they placate to, that's interesting to me. I could see it being like an Invisible Man, like scientist gone mad with power from that angle. Because I don't think many people often associate that with the Invisible Man. Like, especially if you're a Universal monster, you're mainly going to think Dracula or Wolfman or probably Creature from Black Lagoon off of like face alone, or the Mummy, just visually. But like psychosis wise, it's probably going to be an Invisible Man situation. Classic Universal, that is not like modern. That's my serious answer to you, sir.
I mean, and you gave me a serious answer, and that seems like the most applicable, where it's just like, a tragic, villainous, monstrous character. So that could be exciting.
Totally possible. I'm still not buying the idea we're getting both trailers for Spider-Man and Avengers in front of Avatar.
One's Disney, one's Sony. You never know.
This is true, and yes, they could obviously pull. They both have footage to pull, but I'm just like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot to pull. Spider-Man makes more sense to me because it's sooner.
But I was gonna say Doomsday makes more sense because it's Disney on Avatar. But
that's true, and main principle photography is finished. They have reshoots planned, but like they have the core of it done. So obviously they have plenty to pull, plenty of characters and moments. But like I said, it could be like such a simplistic teaser. It doesn't even have to be like plot focused.
It could be 40 seconds, 30 seconds, and boom, that's it. Yeah.
It just throws me because Spider-Man's still filming like right now, and I'm like, I'm sure they filmed some like Peter Parker stuff, but like the fact that I kept seeing just like the same like fucking tank in different locations filmed outside, I'm like, is it just gonna be the tank scene and then the breakout of Scorpion from prison? I don't know.
Yeah. Spider-Man seems less likely, but once again, it can definitely happen if it's short enough.
Yeah, I think it's just more so also my brain thinking of like how fast the VFX houses move on the footage they have. Like, do they like get the dailies and like start? I don't know how the big level productions really roll. Mostly it's just like, hey, so like here's the breakdown of how we did the VFX. They just do a fucking wipe of like 3 wipes of still images and like there it is. Like that's not go more into depth, please.
Right.
Otherwise,
So yeah, I guess we have to wait and see on that. But hopefully, Avatar. We're gonna get some big trailers regardless. We're gonna get another Odyssey trailer, and that alone has me very, very excited because it's Christopher Nolan. They see me Nolan. Anyways, that was bad. It's late. Catch me on Twitter, Harris EV9. Also, I forgot we have to talk about Star Wars Visions as well sometime this week. Have you caught any of those episodes yet?
Nope.
But
I will.
Because you're late as.
I saw thumbnails for him though, and the titles, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah,
I forgot we got 3 sequels.
They're very, very good. The first one, as I know, me and you aren't the biggest Duel fans. Duel Payback is fantastic. It's great.
It's my redemption arc.
It's way better than the first Duel. Way better in every way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that whenever Nathan finishes. We'll catch that. But yeah, so Visions review. Also, we're doing Now You See Me sometime this week as well. So catch those for sure. Vote tomorrow if you're able to. That's coming up. That's tomorrow.
What's called 50?
50 what? It's like issue 50?
Is it Prop 50?
Something.
Make me look bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. But I'll do my research tomorrow, so I'm prepared for voting. But yeah, don't forget to do those. I'm forgetting something else. Whatever. Go to the movies this weekend, people. Go check out a movie. Go to your local theater. Go see a movie.
Yeah.
Go see a film. Go see something.
Obviously, you should support small films equally to big films. But I also, can you please support Predator in theaters so it does well, and I can get Alien vs. Predator on the big screen, please. If this doesn't do well, this Predator film, that we're going back to streaming, and I can't do it.
That's a great point because everybody was saying after Prey, this should have been in theaters, and after Killers of Killers, it's like this should be in theaters. We finally get a Predator that's unique from the perspective of a Predator in theaters. I hope people show up. At least hopefully 40 million. I think that'd be solid.
Yeah,
I think.
And it has connection to the Alien franchise. And if you're interested in taking younger people, it is PG-13. But it's still equal action. It's just not red blood. It's all the same. Just go.
PG-13. I saw people were like, "Oh, PG-13," but yeah, he's fighting aliens. So yeah, obviously it's PG-13. It's not going to be human on human violence this time.
And I think every human is primarily android, so their synthetic blood is white. So
exactly. So it works out.
It's all free reign. Otherwise, yeah. You can follow me _TimeBlazer, making a show called Time Blazer with co-star and creative consultant Evan Harris.
Playing Ben, who, unlike these crazy kids, I'll box Pennywise. My character will box Pennywise. It'll be a wrap.
Oh no, but yeah. Last time we were talking about boxing art, and I was like, maybe. Pennywise, you definitely have Pennywise. Definitely, you have a better shot at takedown because if you know his weakness, yeah, for sure. But Art is an immortal demon, so it's hard. If you're not the chosen like Sienna, it's hard.
Fair enough.
I think Art could take down Pennywise. You may not think so, but I think he could. Because he rebirths himself.
That's true. Yeah, Pennywise just get annoyed.
Yeah. Now that's a fucking versus battle that I could. I don't make versus battles, but if I did, that would probably blow up. Anyway, if you enjoyed this,
Twitter was blowing up. By the way, real quick over the weekend with Bakugo from My Hero Academia versus Rize from the Chainsaw Man movie. They're both explosion-based characters, and the fandoms were battling it out all weekend. It was hilarious. Led to some great animation, fan animation. It was very funny. So if you're any anime, My Hero, Chainsaw Man fandoms, they clashed over the weekend. It was great. It was funny.
Absolutely, man. Once again, sponsored by The Hunt for Ben Solo. Please support it. Link in the description. I just did a random hashtag funny tweet of it today of like, yeah, I want to see it. It has 900 likes. I tweeted this today. I don't get these numbers.
Shit.
I don't get these numbers, and I'm getting these numbers. You cannot tell me 2 weeks on that any of this is dying down and that nobody wants it. You can't tell me. It's here. It's there. It's everywhere. The Hunt for Ben Solo, we need it. So, yeah.
I'm going to retweet you.
Thank you, sir. Not sponsored, but not. Just a passionate fan. If you enjoyed this, again, please like button, subscribe, ring the bell, see us coverage and all things movie and TV. Hope you have a great day. Catch you guys next time. Stay out of Derry.